Last offseason, the Orioles acquired two key players up the middle. Ramon Hernandez and Corey Patterson have made their mark on this 2006 season, achieving new career highs on offense and providing defensive highlights both at the wall and behind the plate. On the mound, Daniel Cabrera has set his sights on new beginnings after a midseason tuning session. He's come back with confidence and control. Tonight he tries to shut down the high-powered lineup of the AL East Division champions. It's up next on Comcast Sportsnet. We're at the house that Ruth built at Yankee Stadium in New York as the Orioles close out this three-game set with New York. It's Comcast Sportsnet coverage in high definition. The Orioles and Yankees right here in the Bronx. And hi again, everyone. Jim Hunter with Jim Palmer. Glad you could tune us in. The Birds trying to salvage one game in this three-game series. And, Jim, as you try to build a competitive team first and then a playoff team second, you need to be strong up the middle. The Orioles already had Miguel Tejada and Brian Roberts okay there. So last offseason they went out, they got Ramon Hernandez and Corey Patterson, and they have fit in so nicely.
Well, they really have. And, of course, Corey Patterson, everybody talked about, had a lot of natural ability, but he struck out too much, had great speed, could hit the ball a long way, had over 20 home runs one year with the Cubs. But Terry Crowley, first day of spring training, said, you know what, if you're willing to work real hard, I think we can make something. And he's been able to do that. Great defensively. He's shown the power. He stole 44 bases. He plays very deep, so he's able to make some great acrobatic plays. And again, you talked about the Orioles trying to improve their ball club. Well, you do it behind the plate. They had problems. Javi Lopez was supposed to be a great offensive player, not a great receiver. Ramon's thrown out 43% of the runners that tried to steal. He has tied his career high with 21 home runs. And the only thing I think he's going to have to deal with is how do you play 120, 130 games in Baltimore and not have that little slump like Ramon had. Corey Patterson, not in the lineup tonight, but, once again, he has just had a very, very good year. The only thing he hasn't done well is hit left-handed pitching. And again, I think sure that'll be something they will work on next year.
So phase one is you get strong up the middle. I guess phase 1A or maybe 1B, I'm not sure. Well, you got to get strong on the mound. Your pitchers need to keep in the games. And this season, the Orioles found out about a trio of young pitchers.
Yeah, I think that what we thought was that Chen and Rodrigo Lopez would be the veterans of the staff, and they have had bad years. But again, what you would try to do is you try to develop your young guys. Well, Bedard's as good as any left-hander in baseball. He's one of the elite left-handers. Adam Lowen in the minor leagues, Double-A, came up, struggled, went back to Triple-A, came back. Looks like he's going to be could be a dominant left-hander. And the guy that's pitching tonight, to Daniel Cabrera, he walks a lot of people. He strikes out over 9 per game. And on any given night, I mean, it kind of sounds like the NFL. He can beat any team. And, this is a Yankee team last night. They got 9 extra base hits, 5 home runs, 18 hits, 16 runs. And I'll tell you what, he might go out. I don't know if he's going to shut him out because they got a very good lineup, but very capable of pitching well and beating the Yankees here in Yankee Stadium.
Final game of the three-game series. Orioles trying to salvage one before heading off to Boston to complete the season with 3 against the Red Sox. Comcast Sportsnet coverage of Orioles baseball is brought to you by your Toyota dealer, where you'll find the ride of your life. Toyota, moving forward. By Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Pennzoil. Give your engine what it wants, not just oil, Pennzoil. And by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places, Southwest is taking low fares farther. Visit southwest.com. Well, the starting pitching matchup tonight, you saw Daniel Cabrera. He is set to go, trying to win his 9th on the year, and this is his final start of 2006. And he goes against the rookie Darryl Rasner, who comes out of the Yankee bullpen to make the start. Randy Johnson scratched from tonight's start because of a sore back, and Rasner will take the start. Well, the theme of this series has been the long ball. These teams have combined to hit 10 home runs over the first 2 games in this series. Tonight, it's the series finale. Orioles and Yankees from New York. Lineups and first pitch are next.
Not all the energy for our fuel comes from oil on the ground. A lot of it comes from our people, who year in and year out put so much of their energy into everything they do. So you can be sure that when you put Valero gas into your tank, you're going to get a lot out of it. Valero, the energy to take you anywhere.
This lush expanse of green does more than beautify our world. Trees help clean the air of carbon dioxide, a major greenhouse gas. As North America's largest recycler, last year alone, Waste Management recycled enough paper to save over 41 million trees. From everyday collection to environmental protection, think green. Think Waste Management.
Stan, I hear the new CEO loves those new Ricoh Color MFPs.
Yeah, the new fellow's the CFO, Chief Financial Officer.
The money guy.
Yeah.
And that affordable Ricoh Color printing, he's loving it.
You know, Jerry, maybe you should be CEO.
You think?
Sure.
Move your ideas forward with Ricoh dependability.
Orioles and Yankees in New York. Here's the Orioles starting lineup for tonight. Roberts, Mora, Markakis up top. In the middle, Miguel Tejada, Jay Gibbons, and Ramon Hernandez. David Newham once again in center field. Corey Patterson sitting it out. Kevin Millar batting eighth. He has been on a tear. 5 for 8 in the series, and those 5 hits came consecutively. 4 for 4 the other night. He got a base hit in his first at-bat last night. And Jeff Fiorentino gets another start in left field. He'll bat ninth.
And they will face Darryl Rasner, who last year picked up on waivers out of the Washington Nationals organization. So he's 3-0 in the big leagues. This will be his third start. He got one of those wins, obviously, in relief. He had some shoulder problems early on. He was 4-0 down in Columbus, so he's undefeated this year. Not overpowering. Maybe will hit 90 on the gun, but has a good curveball, great changeup. And again, for the Yankees, you go out there, you put some zeros on the board, and they will score you a bunch of runs. They have the best offense in the American League. Let's look at the Ricoh defense behind Darryl Rasner. Matsui, Damon, Abreu. That's been the outfield we've seen the last 3 nights. Matsui now playing the last 3 games in left field. Canizero will take A-Rod shot. Cairo for Jeter. Cano, Sheffield, who's trying to learn first base, and then Posada with a 3-run home last night. And there is Andy Canizero. We saw him last night. He came up late in the game, pinch ran, and then popped up, hit his first major league home run down in Tampa Bay on Monday. So it's a big week for him.
Umpiring alignment for tonight. There's Mark Wegner. He has the plate. Marvin Hudson at first. Jerry Lane, the crew chief, at second. And Balkan Bob Davidson is on the lines at third.
Yeah, this is not a Ryan Minor thing for Andy Canizero, where they tell him after 2,632 games, go out and play third base for Cal Ripken Jr.
Ryan Roberts takes a strike, and we are underway. Well, this was a scheduled night off for Alex Rodriguez, and he doesn't have a streak anyway. But the rookie, happy to get a start here at Yankee Stadium. His season will end this weekend. As Roberts breaks his bat and fouls it off, and it's quickly 0-2. So Ryan will have to get a new bat.
Yep, and again, one of these sneaky fastballs. I was talking to Kenny Singleton, who's seen him pitch, who does the Yankee games, former Oriole, and I said maybe a little bit like Ray Culp. He said I never hit against Ray Culp, but Ray Culp was one of those pitchers, had a good curveball, had a real good changeup, could use his fastballs, which wasn't overpowering. As
there's number 29, having a good time over there.
He's laughing at what I'm talking about. What's nothing new. And there's the changeup, and not even close outside. So again, 3-pitch pitcher. If the curveball's not working, then we've seen Eric Dard do it. You have a changeup to get you back into counts, but not overpowering.
Roberts protecting that inside corner, and the count holds 1-2. Blue Dot game time temperature on this September the 28th, and a nice night in New York. It is 68 degrees. Actually felt a bit cooler than that.
Yeah, well, there's a nice little wind, and it's kind of well, it's always gusting down at home plate around the batting cage.
Roberts goes after the curveball, skies it to left. Matsui towards the line will make the grab, and one away as Brian Roberts is retired. So Rasner gets the first out. Matsui hauls it in. Let's get a look at the Jim Coleman keys to the game.
Well, for the Orioles, let's get some runs for Daniel Cabrera. 1 and 2 lifetime against the Yankees. No stage fright after last night. They get, 16 runs, 18 hits, 9 extra base hits, 5 home runs. And, of course, the Yankees pausing for the playoffs in the sense that Jeter will take the night off, and so will A-Rod. And then, of course, don't get razzed. Rasner is 7-0 this year, 3-0 in the big leagues, has yet to lose.
Ball 1 to Melvin Mora. Melvin is 3 out of 8 in the series, and he has 6 hits over his last 4 games.
Actually, let's make Cabrera 1 and 3 against the Yankees. Gave him 1 less loss. Actually, I guess against the Yankees, when your ERA is under 5 runs a game, you haven't pitched that poorly. I remember Mike Messina for years. His record was under 500, but his ERA very, very low. It's just they usually have good pitching, and they have usually very, very good offense. A good change up there and a fastball count, and maybe taking a little bit off, making a good pitch. And that's how you have to pitch if you're not overpowering.
Rasner is 25 years old. He's out of Carson City, Nevada.
Yeah, went to
city out west.
Yeah, University of Nevada, college pitcher. So he knows how to try to stay away from contact with the aluminum bats, where you try to stay out of the middle of the plate. And that's what the changeup does. It really does slow down bat speed. If you know, we talk so many times of why there are so many broken bats. A lot of hitters using, and most of them using lighter bats, trying to generate bat speed. So if guys are trying to swing harder because they want to hit the ball farther, how do you change that? Do you change speeds? It used to be throw a lot of breaking balls, but I think the hitting instructing so much better. There's another big slow curveball. You don't see a whole lot of those in the major leagues now.
And fortunate that Mora pulled that foul. That was a hanger. You see the reaction of Melvin at the plate talking to Jorge Posada saying, oh boy, I missed that one. And there is Derek Jeter on the bench. He'd like to get a crack at that. Alex Rodriguez as well. Don't miss the hanger.
Boy, it's sometimes hard to put it in play. You do jerk it foul, and then, you know, we've seen Kevin Millar. The book on Kevin is just throw him a lot of breaking balls, and even when they hang one, he's so quick with the bat. And that's why they try to stay inside the ball and, you know, not hook it, not get the bat head way out in front. And of course, Melvin, when he is hitting well, last night a good night, 3 for 4, able to do that.
Fights off a good pitcher's pitch there to stay alive at 3-2. Rasner was drafted originally by Montreal, and as Jim mentioned, then became a Washington National. That was in 2002, but Yankees got him on a waiver claim. And there's ball 4, a very good at bat. That was 8 pitches for Melvin Mora to get on base. And the Orioles have a 1-out base runner as Melvin Mora jogs to first with a big smile on his face after missing that breaking ball and pulling it foul, but he gets the walk. And here's Nick Markakis. Nick has 1 hit in the series. 4 games to get 5 points on that batting average. It'd be a wonderful first year for Nick if he could finish with a 3 in the first digit in that column.
I think even if he doesn't, when you consider the way he hit the first couple of months of the season, he's proved to just about everybody that I've talked to that have seen him play, he has just been outstanding. And when you want to rate him to other rookie ranks, first in average and then second in all the other things, and of course the guy that's ahead of him, Kenji Jojima, played about 8 or 9 years over in Japan, so he's officially a rookie, but not really. Did not have to make the adjustments that Nick Markakis had to make. Obviously, he made adjustments coming to the United States and facing Major League pitching for the first time. But Nick, 39 games in Double-A last year, so a huge jump.
And Markakis with that good batting eye, count 2-0. And he takes a changeup for a strike.
Yeah, and what I find so compelling is that Nick is given a lot of credit for the hitting instructor, Terry Crowley. And Crow, of course, defers the credit back to the people that he works with. He's there for him. But at the end of the day, you can do all you want with the drills, and you can talk to people and build their confidence. But when you walk from the on-deck circle.
Gets into one to right field, back on it, Abreu, and it's over his head and bangs against the wall. Morris heading to third, and he will be held by Trebelhorn. And Markakis has a double.
Well, how many times did we see last night the Yankees get hittable pitches down and on the inside part, especially to Abreu, especially to Posada, especially to Giambi and Cano. They're left-handed hitters, and they did just what Nick Markakis did. Look at the target, and he misses inside, and it's right in his wheelhouse. And Abreu just can't get back in time.
You know, you were talking about the influence that Terry Crowley has had at Nick Markakis, and obviously he is a coachable player. Mora gets to third with Nick at second. And what Crow says about Markakis is that all year long, even early on when he was struggling, he never made an excuse, and he never complained about anything that the Crow wanted him to try.
Yeah,
that's a sign of a guy that gets it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be his nature. But the point I was trying to make is you can do all the drills, but when you lead the batter's box, it's up to you. You have to make the adjustments. You have to be able to recognize pitches. You have to know the strike zone. Of course, I think the reason the Orioles thought he could succeed up here is because he had and showed all those natural abilities and some of those learned abilities at the minor league level.
So the Orioles a chance to get on the board before Cabrera takes the mound. Tejada took ball one. And there's a base hit up the middle for Tejada. Morris scores. He's waving Markakis in behind him, and Damon will get it in. So Miguel Tejada with a big base hit. He's now within one of Cal Ripken's single season record. And more importantly here, it gives the Orioles a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, we talked about the cushion for Cabrera, and right here, a bullet up the middle. I mean, just a fastball middle to plate, and he hits it right back where it came from. And a great jump by Nick Markakis, so he'll score very easily.
So base hit number 210. And he starts another hitting streak after last night his 13-game streak was stopped. So he's just one away now. They're the only two Orioles to each have two 200-hit seasons. Al Bumber and B.J. Surhoff are the only other players, and now he's one hit away from tying that mark. And Jay Gibbons takes high.
You know, you talked about the weather, our blue dot temperature, and it's a less humid night, and because of that, and we're going to be at least going to be interesting to me to see how Cabrera handles that, because we've had a lot of humidity almost all summer long. The weather was very nice, more humid last night, and it does have a lot to do with the way the ball feels. And the balls, you know, a lot of guys will tell you that the big difference, maybe the ball a little bit more lively this year, but also if you go back 4 or 5 years ago, the ball's much more slicker. So on a night like tonight, he might have to throw a few more two-seam fastballs. You can see right there, that's kind of the almost like a change-up grip, which is one of his pitches, something he hadn't gotten over yet.
So 3-0 the count. Well, here's our Jim Palmer prop baseball. So what grip would you suggest that they go to if they don't have the moisture?
Well, what you want to try to do is just throw more two-seamers. And, you know, a lot of times you'll be throwing the four-seam fastball, which will be right here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you just feel the ball a bit more. You go right with the seams, and your fingers are on them a little bit more. And, you know, it's something you do like opening day. You have spring training where it's very humid every day, and the weather very much more tempered than it could be. And then you get the windy days early on in the season, and you just have to be able to, you know, to understand and make adjustments. You know, sometimes when you have an extra day and you feel real strong and the ball's getting away from you, then you just try to somehow get a little bit more feel for pitching, which is such an important part of it.
So Gibbons draws a walk, second walk in the inning. Joe Torre looking unconcerned. Even for a team like the Yankees that has won 96 games, they're still only as good as their next day starter.
Well, you're right, and that's what Jim Leland said back in 1997 when the Marlins ended up beating the Indians for the World Series. And of course, it's been said throughout the history of baseball. But there's also home field advantage at stake. And the Tigers have 95 wins, and the Yankees have 96. They would love. The Yankees very good here at Yankee Stadium, 49 and 28. 15 straight year they have had a winning record at home.
Rasner is really struggling with his command. He's allowed 2 hits, 2 runs. He's walked 2, and the Orioles have a chance for a huge first inning. Ramon Hernandez has hit in each game in this series. Curveball for a strike.
Yeah,
Call there by Posada.
You look at his numbers, and coming into this game, he dominated left-handed. Lefties were only like 4 for 30. hitting 133, the righties, and we already seen Tejada with the clutch 2-run hit, or 2-base hit, or 2-run single, I suppose, up the middle. I mean, they were hitting 265, so there was about a 132-point difference. And again, that's only in 3 appearances, 2 of those starts.
And he popped up the changeup. Jorge Posada will call off the first baseman Sheffield and make the grab for the second. Out a big out for Dow Rasner.
Yeah, it's probably a pitch. If you see a guy more than one time, you're going to hit this ball very hard because it's going to probably be somewhere right in there. Yep, right there, right down the middle, belt high. And that's a pitch when you look at the Orioles' hottest hitter from a home run standpoint, and that's Ramon Hernandez in the month of September. That's the pitch he's been hitting hard.
And here's David Newhan getting another start in center field tonight. He has a couple of hits in the series.
Yeah, 2 of them last night, 2 for 5.
We've had a couple of interesting talks the last few nights with David after the game. And the one thing about him, and you really respect a guy like David because he's had to fight for everything that he's earned at this level. And as a result, Jim, he knows how to play the game right.
Well, he
always
does.
hustles,
yeah.
And it's all about what you can do to help the team.
But I think the thing, and what we talked about him the other night, is that a lot of times you take that energy, and it can certainly be a bonus, and it can be something you can use to your advantage. But if you get over energized and you don't slow down the thinking and you try too hard, and I think when you want to be an overachiever, and that's what David has been, sometimes that plays against you. So I think sometimes you just kind of have to talk through things. And he got 2 hits last night. He said, I was looking for you last night because I said, well, we'll talk on the plane.
We talked about you. I'm kidding.
Well, you root for guys like this, and he was talking about gets up about 5:30 in the morning and he meets Trevor Hoffman, and they do their Pilates and all their stretching, and then they'll go do some other weight stuff and whatever, and he wants to be as good as he can be, and I think that's all you can ever ask of a player. Doesn't mean that you're going to hit 300, but you want somebody that comes out to the game and is prepared and has thought about it. Edward Bennett-Williams gave us that talk on physically and intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually, trying to commit yourself to being the best player you can, and you get the feeling that David Newhan tries to do that.
Well, he's a key man. He and Chris Gomez are really outstanding role players because they know how to come off the bench. Runners will go on the pitch, full count with 2 down. And Newhan fights it off to stay alive, so Tejada will get back to second and Gibbons back to first.
Well, when you have 3 pitches right there, that pitch at 88, the highest velocity pitch, and he made a pretty good pitch, but David had a good swing at it. But the difficulty of hitting with 2 strikes is when you're down 2-0, and Darryl Rasner knows, and he's been on a roll, you don't want to give any more runs. He'll throw any of the 3 pitches, which is why he's been effective. It could be a changeup, curveball, or fastball. Not too predictable.
Ground ball towards short. Cairo is there, and he'll play at the first to get Newhan, and the inning ends. So Rasner gets out of it with only the 2. Bottom of the first coming up. The Birds have a 2-0 lead.
Thursday, October 5th, the Capitals return on Comcast Sportsnet. Jaromir Jagr and the Rangers face off against Alexander Ovechkin and the Capitals in an opening night showdown. Thursday, October 5th, the Caps and Rangers, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
The all-new Mazda CX-7 has got the press making a lot of noise. And it all started with a whisper. The turbocharged, direct-injected 2007 Mazda CX-7 Sport starts at $24,345. Or get a special introductory $299 a month lease for 24 months with $29.86 due at lease signing. The SUV you never saw coming has arrived.
Here at the new XXX ESPN Radio, we're not above doing our own grassroots marketing, letting the folks know where to hear their skins games.
XXX ESPN Radio, it's hot, it's super hot. XXX ESPN Radio, the new XXX ESPN Radio. All right.
The Redskins play here.
The new XXX ESPN Radio, 94.3 to the west,
92.7 to the east,
and 7:30 a.m. all over D.C.
Mark Brunell.
If you want to make your hard-earned dollar go a whole lot farther, get ready.
Advance Auto Parts has the low prices guaranteed to save you money. Get ready to save big on select items throughout the store. Now for a limited time, you can get 10 items for just $10. It's your chance to stock up and save big on all sorts of stuff, from gas treatment to air fresheners. Hey, we know money's tight, so Advance is helping you get more out of your car with our 10 for 10 sale.
We're ready in advance.
Orioles grab a 2-0 lead. Here's the Yankees starting lineup for tonight. A couple of changes from last night, but in the cleanup spot is Jason Giambi. Last night he had a huge game as he got back in after missing 6, and you see what he has done head-to-head against the Orioles on the year. He has been murder against the Birds. Sheffield another start at first base, Cairo at short, Canizero at third, giving Jeter and Alex Rodriguez nights off.
Well, Daniel Cabrera trying to win game number 9 for the Orioles, and trying to see if he has his glasses on. Something he has worn his last couple of starts.
Yep.
So he knows Johnny Damon's up there. I used to think that sometimes you didn't want to see who was up there, especially after last night. But Daniel coming off a win against the Twins, the only victory the Orioles had last weekend. And one of those typical games where he pitches well. Struggled early, but 8 strikeouts. They got him a pretty big lead. In and out of trouble early on. He's going to walk a lot of people on a normal night, walking 6 per 9 innings, striking out over 9 per 9 innings.
Bounce past the mound. Roberts has it and gets it to first to get Damon. 1 away. It's going to look at the Rico defense behind Daniel Cabrera tonight.
Well, Corey Patterson hit by a pitch, so he's out of center field. Fiorentino, Newhan, and Markakis, the outfield for the Orioles. Mora, Tejada, Brian Roberts, Kevin Millar, who's been a fixture after the trade of Jeff Conine to the Phillies. And Ramon Hernandez, as we mentioned, having a great throwing year. So, David, a lot of territory. Big ballpark here in the Bronx.
And here's Robinson Cano, who moves up to the number 2 spot tonight. You see that .343 average. That is second best in the league. But now he's trailing Joe Mauer by 7 points. Trying to make a late charge at that batting title. He needs to get hot. And Mauer needs to cool off over the final games. And, of course, Minnesota's trying to catch the Tigers in the Central. Yankees are just playing for the home field, and right now the Yankees have a 1-game lead for the best record in the American League.
And as Joe Torre talked about, obviously concerned, do not want to go to the Metrodome. I mean, if they would have to do that, if that would be a possibility, because a 5-game series, the division series, and Johan Santana would pitch 2 of those games. He's arguably the best pitcher in the American League as starting pitchers.
Bounce towards Roberts. To his right, he plays the hop. And he'll throw out Cano and 2 outs.
Well, if you go back and if we went back and looked at the pitch is that the Yankees hit last night, they are very good hitters and they got a lot of good pitches to hit. And that probably, I would be very surprised if that's the case tonight. Because Daniel Cabrera has entirely different stuff than anybody on the Orioles starting staff with the exception of Eric Bedard. I mean, he's got an unhittable curveball at times. If he doesn't get flustered and he doesn't lose his rhythm, which means he's going to get wild, he is very tough to be able to generate a lot of long balls on. And of course, I say that, I just hope that he keeps the ball in the ballpark. But the bottom line is that this Yankee team is a very good one. They lead the American League in runs scored. They have the 2nd most walks, best on base percentage, 2nd home runs. And right there, you think you're getting a pretty good pitch at 96, and it's got good movement. The 2-seamer runs away from the lefties. So you will probably see, if Daniel's on his game, that good pitching can stop good hitting. And that's the way it's always been. Doesn't mean they won't get their runs, but it just means they will not get as many, and the Orioles will be in this ball game.
Well, along those lines, I liked what Chris Benson said after the game last night as he allowed 8 earned runs in 2 2/3 innings. He said he brought his F- stuff to the mound, and the Yankees had their A+ lineup in there, and that's a bad combination. And last night, Bobby Abreu was one of the 5 home runs hit as he got into a Benson pitch and hit it way out of here into the bleachers.
But again, if he got the same pitch from Daniel Cabrera, it'd probably be a fly ball to center field because of the velocity. Chris 89 to 91, Daniel 96, and he can get it up to 98 on occasions.
Big smile as he just did get a piece of that.
Well, it's not easy. You get somebody that's 6'7", and he's throwing from an angle you don't usually see pitches delivered from. And his curveball goes straight down when it's and then right there he's got. So what happens, and you have to understand, we were talking about Koufax pitching the other day in the World Series because it's the 40-year anniversary, and when the ball came out of Sandy Koufax's hand, he wasn't quite as tall as Daniel. The fastball and the curveball came out at the same level. So one went up and dramatically went up, and the other one went down about 4 or 5 feet, and that's what Daniel's able to do. So out of your hand, you don't know if it's 96 or if it's maybe 87. So again, they're just trying to get balance, pick the leg up, break the hands, get over the front side, and that's the important thing for any pitcher. You can always see that little flinch because he's not that comfortable once he throws the ball as the fielder.
Left field, Fiorentino will have a play. And he puts it away for the out. Good start for Daniel Cabrera. He retires the Yankees 3 up, 3 down.
Friday night baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. The Orioles take on the Red Sox in an AL East duel live from Fenway Park. Catch the action with exclusive game night coverage starting at 6:30. The Orioles, the Red Sox. Friday night baseball only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Pressure. Enemy of engines. Enemy of pressure. Pennzoil Platinum. It's the full synthetic with adaptive molecules that continually join forces to help conquer the enormous pressure inside your engine. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
Excuse me, are you Karen?
Oh my. I've been on a lot of blind dates, but they've all been with pasty bald guys, but...
Your table, sir. Hello.
Scratch off?
Thanks.
O's fans, you could win 2 round-trip tickets on Southwest Airlines. Just watch for the Southwest Airlines destination of the game from now until the end of the season. When the destination is revealed, log on to southwest.com/Baltimore to enter.
A new season of television's most prestigious fishing tournament returns. FLW Outdoors, where top anglers compete for the right to be crowned world champion on Comcast Sportsnet.
Well, now for the Mega Millions Home Run Derby contestant, sponsored by the Maryland Lottery. Tonight's contestant is Marianne Schneider from Hagerstown. For every home run the Orioles hit in the game, Marianne wins $1,000. Don't forget to play Mega Millions this Friday for a chance to win $12 million. Another nice crowd on hand at Yankee Stadium in New York. Miguel Tejada's 2-run single in the first has put the Birds on top. Kevin Millar will lead off. Kevin's bat has been hot.
Yeah, he's really, taken and seized the opportunity when Jeff Conine went up to Philadelphia. I mean, if you have an average fastball, and that is what I would classify Darryl Rasner, doesn't mean that it's average in the sense that he can't spot it, but velocity-wise, and you get it belt high inside, he's going to hit it hard. And that's Kevin Millar is a dead red hitter, looking fastball, trying to get a hanging breaking ball. There's a changeup and you can see the difference. But when you hit out of 17 out of 20 games and you hit 4 home runs and you're getting some doubles, 5 doubles in those 20 games, and you're hitting what, 360 or so? Yeah,
in the 20 games. Yep.
You are seizing the opportunity to show people you can still hit.
So the changeup got him ahead 0-2, and this one floats by for a ball.
I think there's a lot of young pitchers, and that was another one. And it's not bad if you throw it under the strike zone, but to good veteran hitters, if you come back with a changeup and you hang it, and they've seen a couple, or you go back to back to back, that fastball misses down and in, and all of a sudden the good hitters really make that adjustment.
So Millar with a very good batting eye. He's very patient. Miguel Cairo as Millar pounds the curveball into the ground, and 1 away in the second inning.
Well, that's what Rasner's about. He's got to make quality pitches. In the first inning, he got in a little bit of trouble. He walked Melvin Moore. I mean, he gave up the double to Markakis because it was a ball right in his zone, down and in, and then fastball right in the middle of the plate. But again, if you pitch, 87, 88, and you have 2 other pitches and you stay out of the middle of the plate, you can be effective.
Here's Jeff Fiorentino batting ninth, and there's a curveball that misses. The get me over curve didn't get over.
Well, he has the ability, though, even though most hitters will look fastball right here, to come back with something else.
And fastball at the knees for a strike.
And of course, I think if you're Jeff Fiorentino, you're getting now where you've been in the big leagues the last couple of years, off and on. And he took that pitch, the first strike, because it was a pitcher's pitch. And you start learning those kind of things. I think the key to pitching, and when I used to work with Tim McCarver, we used to talk so much because Tim played it as a catcher in 4 decades. You'd always talk about how you'd like to throw enough strikes to get them to swing at balls. Unless you threw like Randy Johnson, where you're throwing 98 and 8 or 9, or Clemens when he struck out 20, where he's throwing 96 and 7, and Rich Gedman's putting his glove on the outside corner and every ball goes there. And then when you look for that, he's got a hard slider and a splitter. But not too many guys can pitch that way.
Just got a piece to stay alive. Fiorentino has a 2-game hitting streak going. Taking advantage of his time here in the month of September to show Sam Perlaza what he can do. He certainly has shown he can play left field. I think the Orioles would like for Jeff to get a little stronger.
Boy, I saw him in spring training, and I said, boy, you got to look a lot bigger. But then the shoulder problem that he had down at AA Bowie. And a lot of guys, it's very difficult. I talked to Derek Jeter today. I said, what's your program? He said, well, I do a little bit of lifting during the season, and in the off season do all kinds of agility stuff, the plyometrics. I do lifting and whatever. A lot of running. So it's a lot easier to get yourself stronger as that ball routine to Damon in center. But during the season, you just too many things going on.
Well, fans, don't forget you can enter to win the Orioles spring training sweepstakes. Just get online Orioles.com. You fill out a brief survey and you'll be registered for a trip for 2 to Fort Lauderdale for spring training 2007. The grand prize includes Southwest Airlines airfare, hotel accommodations, game tickets, and more. Get online Orioles.com. Take the survey, and you can win a trip to join us in spring training next March. And the fly ball out, the second out in the inning. Here's Brian Roberts. Brian is in a 1-for-17 drought. Flied out his first at bat. Now Rasner, 25 years old, 6'3", 210. He only made 10 starts in AAA. He's back and forth a couple of times with the Yankees and did not get a lot of time to pitch while he was here, but they needed him just in case. Gets the call in the outside corner. 1-2. You see the batting averages for Brian on the month.
Yeah, it looked like he was going the other way. But again, if you look at Brian, couldn't do the work that he normally did. Didn't play in his first exhibition game till I think the 21st of March. It's hard to maintain or gain strength during the season, so he will spend this whole winter doing what he usually does, which is go to the athletic performance group out in Arizona, and he'll go once till New Year's and then twice a day till spring training. That's what Derek Jeter was about. He said, you in this day and age, you can't afford to come to spring training not in shape, even though there are players that do that. But Darrell's not one of them, and of course he's the leader. I mean, he's been here since 1996 when they started winning the World Championship.
Roberts fights it off. Here's the injury Jim was referring to last year that knocked Brian out for the remainder of the season, and then for all of the offseason he couldn't do his normal routine. Major surgery, reconstructive elbow surgery. But he met his goal, which was to be in the lineup on opening day.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to be able to do that because of the pain and whatever, but worked through it. And he has shown the Orioles certainly that he is still a very dynamic player.
Oh, absolutely.
Most steals ever this year, 36 coming in tonight. Talking to himself a little bit. But then again, that's what happens when you get in those little down periods.
It's a long season.
Oh, yeah.
Tough to play every day, and he's in there as much as anyone on this club.
Well, that's why I think if I don't think that this is a typical year from the right side of the plate, but usually his number's much better as a left-handed hitter and as it being a switch hitter. But when you hurt that lead arm, that left arm, which he hurt, that's so important hitting both ways, but more right-handed. So the numbers slowly getting better from as a right-handed hitter.
You know, I think Sam Perlazo, among the many things he's learned this year running a club for the entire season, is when to spot your regulars a day off. And Sammy has done a very good job down the stretch here, you know, getting Chris Gomez in there. Gomez plays all over. Why not take advantage of it? He gives Melvin Mora a day off. He gave Miguel Tejada a day off. Miggy DH that day. He played second base. He plays first base. And that might be something for next year with Brian. There's a ground ball towards the hole. Cairo, the long throw across, not in time. That's an infield hit.
But then again, what really sabotaged Sammy Palazzo's plans, and I think he's well aware of that, was the fact that Gomez broke his hand and missed about 2 months.
Didn't happen, right.
You know, ideally, Chris is so important to this ball club because if you do want to rest Brian, you usually want to do it maybe against the left-handed pitcher. So you know, and then of course Chris comes back and works very hard. Now he's got the 17-game hitting streak. Pretty Mr. Clutch last night.
One
when he gets
for one.
Yeah, he gets one at bat. He comes in late in the ball game and gets a hit off of Ron Balone to keep that streak alive.
There's Melvin Mora, who had a very good at bat in the first inning, eventually worked the walk. So Roberts on with a 2-out single. That is the third base hit allowed by Rasner. He's also walked 2. So the runner on, Rasner has slowed down his pace. Fastball's high, 1-0.
Well, the first 2 starts for Darryl Rasner were against the Twins, and he was able to pitch 6 innings, only give up a run, 4 hits. And then his next game didn't pitch quite as well. That was against Toronto. And that was up in Toronto on the turf. But was able to win as the Yankees got some runs early.
Fouls it off the other way.
Already the pitch count to 57. So a lot of pitches for the youngster.
Well, they have a lot of arms in that bullpen. They have 11. Last night they had 12, but they had Rasner out there just in case, and they pulled him out to make this start tonight. Weekly hit to second base. And Cano gets more, and the inning ends. So the infield hit, Roberts left. Daniel Cabrera going back to work with a 2-0 lead.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
9, please.
Don't like stopping? Fly Southwest Airlines nonstop from BWI or Dulles to Chicago Midway for just $79 one way. Purchased by October 5th.
You are now free to move about the country.
Don't give up your freedom. Toyota SUVs have it all. They're more versatile and safer than ever. All come standard with Toyota's Star Safety System. And 4 Toyota SUVs are EPA estimated over 20 miles per gallon highway. Even big Sequoias and Land Cruisers are just shy of that. Best of all, now is SUV clearance time. So see your Toyota dealer, where you don't have to give up the freedom of an SUV to get great MPG. Toyota, moving forward.
Stan, do I look pale to you?
Pale?
Someone just said I could use some color.
It's the booklets, Jerry. They're talking about color charts.
color covers.
Then I guess I'm off to the Rico color printer.
Don't forget your sunblock.
Move your ideas forward with Rico dependability.
The Orioles Grill at the Sheraton Inner Harbor Hotel. Stop by for a great meal and enjoy the Oriole artwork on display. Before or after the game, go to the Sheraton Inner Harbor Hotel. Monday Night Live, Mondays at 7, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Tonight's Eye-Whiff injury report. Corey Patterson out again. He's got a contusion. He was hit by a pitch the other night here, Tuesday night. Stayed in the game and even hit a home run. But then it stiffened up on him, got sore, so he is day to day. And he's available on the bench if Sam Perlazzo needs a pinch runner later on. Sitting with Brandon Fahey talking baseball. Brandon talks baseball with everybody.
Oh, yeah. Well, he loves the game.
He's always the first guy out on the bench.
He really is. Well, he and Leo Mazzoni. Leo is always out there on the bench. If he's not in the bullpen already, but usually out there, sits for a while.
The hand injury that Brandon suffered really sabotaged his second half. He hurt it stealing a base. Orioles learned a lot about Brandon Fahey this year. They'd like him to get a little stronger. He can sure play shortstop if they need him, and made the adjustment very nicely to left field.
Yeah, I mean, he's not your prototypical left fielder, but he did fill in. Defensively was terrific.
Brian Roberts was disabled when Brandon got promoted. He played second base every day. And Giambi down on strike. So Cabrera got ahead, gives him the slider on 1 and 2, and Giambi couldn't reach it.
Yeah, straight down. Yeah, you didn't see that pitch last night. I mean, watch the target, just throw it underneath the bat. Perfect curveball. But once again, if you're 96, 97, and you can't read the curveball, you're going to swing through it, especially when it's that quality. You know, we can talk all day long about making quality pitches, but right there, that was one of them. Now, this is a good matchup. You get one of the best fastball hitters. In fact, one of the best hitters.
Ball one outside. Sheffield playing first base down the stretch here. They wanted to get a look at him to see if they could risk playing him at first base in the postseason, and so far he's passed the test.
He had 2,106 home runs in the lineup last night.
Hard hit ball to Morrow, plays the hop. And 2 men down. So 5 in a row retired by Cabrera to begin the game. Well, we're talking about last night and the Yankees lineup. This was the lineup that Joe Torre started and possibly could start in the postseason in any game or all the games if he prefers. And look at the all-star appearances on the right. Every player in that lineup last night, except for the pitcher, Chen-Ming Wang, had been to at least one all-star game.
Right, and of course he blitzed in the playoffs last year, so Joe thinks he's going to be comfortable because of the injury to Johnson. And of course Messina will pitch second. They hope Randy Johnson's back will heal, but one of the few times, if ever, they've had that lineup this year because of the wrist injury to Matsui and the fact that Sheffield also had the wrist injury.
0-2 on Matsui as Cabrera really is doing a good job getting ahead of hitters, and Hideki Matsui with his own traveling press corps. Going forward, all the information back to Japan, everything he does.
And there's a lot of them. It's not just a couple.
Remember last year when the Yankees came into Camden Yards, how the video cameras followed him out of the dugout to go to the team stretch on the field.
Pretty good numbers against Daniel Cabrera.
Left field towards the line is Fiorentino, and he has it for the out. So Cabrera, a strong start, 3 up, 3 down for a second straight inning, and the Orioles with a 2-0 lead.
Rick Wilcoxon is a real Geico customer, not an actor. So to help tell a story, we hired an actor.
Originally, I switched to Geico to save money, but then I was in an accident.
Yeah, that's right. I was in an accident.
I got on the phone and called Geico.
Yeah. Hello. Hey, how's it going?
After a few days, I had my repair check. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I got the check. Got my car fixed. It's my birthday. Fixed my bumper. In the taillights.
Geico. Real service, real savings.
It's my birthday.
We're America's largest refiner, and some of the vehicles we fuel don't travel on roads. For those that do, we make some of the cleanest gasoline on the planet, and every drop is performance guaranteed. And our employees contribute over 200,000 hours a year in our communities. We know you probably don't think about these things when you think of Valero. That's okay, just as long as when you do think of us, you think of this. Valero, the energy to take you anywhere.
O's fans, you could win 2 round-trip tickets on Southwest Airlines. Just watch for the Southwest Airlines destination of the game from now until the end of the season. When the destination is revealed, log on to southwest.com/Baltimore to enter.
A new season of television's most prestigious fishing tournament returns. FLW Outdoors.
Look at the bend in that rod.
The ultimate weekly challenge in competitive fishing.
Woo! Huge fish.
Follow the world's top anglers as they go head-to-head in a race to hook the day's most elusive catch. And battle it out for the right to be crowned world champion. FLW Outdoors on Comcast Sportsnet.
Hey fans, for purchase or refinance or cash out for any reason, call First Fidelity toll-free at 1-877-I'll-take-it. That's 1-877-I'll-take-it.
Well, there's an Oriole fan.
Not fair for the analyst to tell a joke 4 seconds back from break. Oriole fan and wearing his Oriole shirt proudly here in Yankee Stadium.
You see him hunched over and kind of.
There's Nick Markakis. Fueled the Orioles rally in the first with a double.
So now only 4 points from 300.
What a future he has. You know, I think the thing that's been very impressive about him, you know, for the first 4 months of the season, he kept getting better and better and better, and he's had just an incredible second half. But now everybody knows him. You know, there's a reference point out there. The scouts have seen him. The teams in the division certainly have seen enough of him because he's been playing all year. He's been on the team since opening day, and he bounces it through for a base hit.
Well, what I like is how some of the scouts go, oh, yeah, you know, just pitch him up and in. And they've tried to do that, and he's made some adjustments. And that's part of the I guess, the maturation of a young hitter. Just, you know, your swing gets better. Can you get your hips out of the way? Can you clear them so you can actually get to the inside pitch and you can hit it fair? And like I said, you know, Cano hitting second tonight, probably a better second place hitter than Markakis, only because Markakis, of course, not that Cano can't hit the ball to left. He hit one out towards the bullpens the other day. But Nick right now is just as good as he is because he hits the ball everywhere. And I think if you bat him second, maybe he would think, oh, I got to pull the ball and do things like that if Brian Robert gets on. But I think he's going to be able to hit 3, 4, 5, 6 wherever you want to hit him and be very comfortable doing it.
So Markakis has a 2-hit night for Nick, his 37th multi-hit game. And here is Miguel Tejada, who singled to drive in the 2 runs in the first and is 1 hit shy of tying Cal Ripken's single season club record. Mickey right now with 210 base hits.
Oh, 100 RBIs too. That's a nice little number. But going back to what Jeter talked about, I think the one thing that, you know, most of the scouts will talk about is that maybe a little bit diminished range. I mean, we've seen him, though, you know, go into the hole like he did last night, make a very, very acrobatic, strong throw. But as you get older, you just have to really watch your conditioning. And I think that's something that, you know, he has to be very aware of. You know, Derek Jeter says you can't afford to do it. And, of course, you know, I think the importance of having your leaders, and Jeter leads the Yankees and Tejada leads the Orioles, is that they are role models.
Well, Miguel's 210 hits, Jim, that ties There is Sean Henn, left-hander, getting loose. Rasner is approaching 7 pitches already. We're only in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, in those 2 starts, he was, obviously a lot more economical. 6 innings, only 81 pitches against the Twins, and then 107 in his next start. Well, there are nights when you just don't have that command. You throw the ball for the outside corner, and it's a couple inches off, and instead of being a strike, it's a ball. And well, of course, you get roughed up a little bit. And not that you get afraid of contact. You just feel, well, I have to even be finer. I have to make perfect pitches.
And Cano trying to keep Markakis close. Well, the Orioles have a perfect guy at the plate here trying to add to their lead, Jim. He has been clutch all year with runners in scoring position.
And at one point, he was hitting like .441 for the first 2 months of the year.
Markakis at second. Tejada at first. 1 down. And there's a strike on that outside corner. 1-1.
Yeah, Ramon he would like to have been hitting 2-0.
In his last 2 games, he's hit 5 home runs in the month of September.
And that does lead the Orioles.
Good eye, wouldn't chase. 2-1. Ramon has certainly learned about being an everyday catcher in Baltimore. He learned what humidity is all about in the summer months.
Well, it's not only Baltimore. I mean, it can be Toronto, it can be New York, and Tampa Bay. You play indoors, thank goodness. Kansas City, what was it, 97, 102.
Right field and deep. That ball has a chance, and that ball is gone for Ramon Hernandez. A 3-run shot the opposite way, and it's a 5-0 lead for the Orioles.
Well, they're going to boo Darryl Rasner. I tell you, the count has a lot to do, especially if you have somewhat average stuff. He's not overpowering, so when he gets into a fastball count and throws one and gets it up, doesn't make a good pitch. And we know the ball carries. Orioles hit 3 solo home runs on Tuesday. The Yankees hit 5 yesterday. So up and away, and I feel like Jimmy Webb, up and away. That ball's 3-run shot and easily gets into the stands here. And here comes Joe Torre.
Well, all series long, the fans have been throwing the Oriole home run balls back on the field. It would have been nice if that fan did, because that's a new career high for Ramon Hernandez. Be a nice souvenir for him to have. And tonight is the night the fan keeps it. So here's Joe Torre as Ramon has added to the lead for Cabrera. And these very spoiled Yankee fans booing Rasner as he leaves. Russell Automotive call to the bullpen here in the 3rd. Sean Henn coming on with the Birds, leading now 5-0.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Oh, fine, thank you.
9, please.
Don't like stopping? Fly Southwest Airlines nonstop from BWI or Dulles to Chicago Midway for just $79 one way. Purchased by October 5th.
You are now free to move about the country.
With one click, you can build your new Toyota. Select the options. Choose the accessories. Get a quote. Arrange for financing. Or shop for a certified used Toyota. BuyAToyota.com. Our showroom at your fingertips. Toyota, moving forward.
Stan, I hear the new CEO loves those new Rico Color MFPs.
Yeah, the new fellow's the CFO, Chief Financial Officer.
The money guy.
Yeah.
And that affordable Rico Color printing, he's loving it.
Jerry, maybe you should be CEO.
You think?
Sure.
Move your ideas forward with Rico Dependability.
Fans, here's an invitation to join the Orioles in sunny Fort Lauderdale with the official Orioles spring training travel package. The package includes hotel accommodations, optional airfare through Southwest Airlines, game tickets, and an invitation to an exclusive barbecue with Orioles players. And you never know, the Hall of Famer might show up.
Oh, yeah.
Get online, Orioles.com/spring travel, or call 1-800-8-WARM-UP. That's 1-800-892-7687. You're big on the barbecue circuit, I hear.
Well, if I can be.
You fit it in?
So is Sean Henn. He hails from Fort Worth, Texas. So he's a Texan. And barbecue down there.
So only one down in the inning, and David Newhand takes ball one high.
Well, so they bring him in. Obviously, I think, lefty, so that helps. And Sean Henn, who was drafted by the Yankees back in 2000, and he 26th round. So let's see what kind of stuff he has. I've never seen him pitch. He's been up and down the last couple of years. Actually pitched pretty well last year at AA and AAA. This year, some shoulder problems, some groin problems. His record 3-1 down at AAA Columbus.
Newhand skies at the shallow center. Damon in, Cairo out. The wind takes it towards Matsui, but Cairo sticks with it. And 2 men down. That was nicely done by Miguel Cairo. The breeze really beginning to blow here in New York. So Cairo stuck with it. You see the pennants on the facade in the outfield. All the teams represented up there, and there's the Orioles pennant blowing a different direction than the right field pennants.
Well, they don't have enough flagpoles for all their pennants. 26 World Championships and 40 pennants, I think.
Yeah, I think it's written on the facade here below us or above us.
I'll dangle you over.
Thank you. Anything for the show.
Yes, right. See what it actually says.
There's
a net.
It's above us.
Yeah, well, I knew the World Championship, but I think there's also like 40 pennants involved.
Millar grounded out his first at bat and takes a strike.
Well, if they booed Darryl Rasner, how about when Sean Henn came up last year and he was 0-3 with 11.12 ERA? Yankee fans, of course, I think it duly noted that they are trying to get a home field advantage. But Jeter with the night off, A-Rod with the night off.
Sean Henn trying to.
You can see the sweat mark on his brim of his hat.
Well, you talk about this all the time, Jim. Darryl Rasner in his start tonight faced 15 batters, and he threw strike one to only 2 of them.
Well, he was constantly behind. He got behind Miguel Tejada. He hit a 2-run single. He got behind Nick Markakis. He had already doubled, walked Mora, even though to his credit it was like something like a 12-pitch walk.
So Kevin Millar, yet again with that batting eye, draws the walk. The Yankees have had only 6 batters in the night, and here's Jeff Fiorentino batting for a second time. The Yankees have now watched the Orioles go through the lineup twice. And Cabrera's pitched 2 3-up, 3-down innings. Line drive and a base hit. Soft line drive into left center field. And Fiorentino going the opposite way. Extends his hitting streak to 3 straight and 2 on with 2 down. Millar stops at second, chatting with Robinson Cano.
Yeah, Larry Bowie tried it by on Tuesday, and he said, I really like your club. And actually, it was yesterday after the Tuesday ball game when we hit the 3 solo home runs, and then so after losing 16-5, I said today, how do you like the club now? He says, I like the offense. Pitching, So there are a lot of people. I think the Orioles recognize that, again, that there have been a lot of positive things this year for a team that had a lot of injuries with key players. And I mean, even if you look at Corey Patterson, Corey has done very well, but against left-handed pitching. So if you had Luis Matos step up, could have been a platoon situation. You could have rested Corey. You might have been able to get some key at bats. Corey hitting a little bit over 200, but it's a lot of things that you didn't really anticipate. The pitching situation with Rodrigo Lopez and Bruce Chen. You go from 28 wins to 9. Not only that, you get 27 losses in there, or actually make it 25 losses.
Well, the frontline players are obviously where the focus will be this offseason, needing to add some more punch to this lineup, especially to protect Miguel Tejada. But it just shows you how over the long year, and you mentioned the injuries, how important your bench is, and how you have to pay attention to matchups and having an answer for what the other team might do. And you know, ever since Jeff Conine got traded, we've talked about this quite a bit, the Orioles don't have a right-handed hitting outfielder. And there are times where it really does hurt Sam Perlazo, because day in and day out, every guy he puts out there in the outfield, unless he elects to play Fernando Tatis, who's an infielder, he doesn't have a righty. And, you know, the front office is well aware of that, and that's something that they will, without a doubt, correct in the offseason. Because the backups are important, because you never know, A, when an injury is going to happen. You know, Corey Patterson ran into the wall in Texas second inning. David Newham that day came off the disabled list. It was like, welcome back, get in there. And he played every day. So, you know, sure, there are holes to be filled in the starting lineup, more punch, but those backup positions are very important. Runners will go 3-2 with 2 down, and Roberts keeps it going.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the New York Mets, and we look in terms of, you know, they were the recipients of some of the fire sale. They got Paul LaDuca, they got Carlos Delgado, and, you know, of course, LaDuca, an all-star catcher, and Delgado usually hits anywhere between 30 and 40 home runs a year when he's healthy. But they were able to get Jose Valentin. They went out and got Endy Chavez. They just got a number of players that have really improved their overall offense.
And Brian Roberts down on strikes. Looked like a changeup, and Brian swung through it. But the Orioles add to their lead. Ramon Hernandez, his career high 22nd home run, and the Orioles now the 5-0 lead.
You could pay $299.99 for a 100% wool suit like this at some stores. Or at K&G, you could look just as stylish for only $99.99. K&G, for men, for women, for less.
When it comes to fuel efficiency in SUVs, Toyota is leading the way. The Highlander Hybrid 4x4 has 268 horsepower, while EPA estimated at 31 mpg in the city. Rugged 4x4 V6 4Runners and big 8-passenger Sequoias are all capable of around 400 highway miles per tankful. Because the ride of your life should come standard with good fuel economy. Toyota, moving forward.
Force 3 asks, which IT buzzwords annoy you most?
Value added. I go to any IT website and I think, isn't it funny how all of a sudden more value has been added to everything? Hey, I just finished some value added chili. I'm going to experience it several more times today at no extra charge. So will the people around me.
It takes more than buzzwords to solve network problems. We're Force 3. We help people manage their networks, and we do it in English, not geek speak. Force 3. Networks are people.
Tonight, your source for the best local coverage is on Comcast Sportsnet. News, scores, highlights, and more. It's all access, your all-access pass to your teams, the heart of local sports. Tonight, watch Sports Night presented by PricewaterhouseCoopers after the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet. And here is Jorge Posada leading off for the Yankees. Cabrera now has a 5-0 lead, and Posada pops it up.
Well, you like that. You get 3 runs. Your pitcher sits on the bench. He throws strike 1, something that Rasner didn't do. And Posada, of course, a very aggressive hitter. 3-run home run last night. And he pops it up. And for Daniel Cabrera, like we said, if he's on his game, he can beat anybody. His stuff is that good. Ron Gardenhire still said of all the games the Twins had pitched against him last year, in the 2005 season, Daniel Cabrera was the most overpowering. Not Roy Halladay. Of course, they have Santana on their ball club, but he can be that type of pitcher.
Ball 1 to Miguel Cairo.
I keep having this recurring dream that he starts throwing changeups, and then the hitters don't have any idea what's going to come. He really works on it. And I keep thinking Josh Beckett, He's throwing for win number 17, but he threw something like 36 home runs this year. And every time I see him pitch, you know, he's got a good curveball. He's very much like, he has a changeup. He throws it, but he's very much like Daniel, where a lot of times he just thinks that you can throw balls by people. And
not in this division.
No, you can't. And you can't do it anymore. You know, you can do it if you're on the corner, because Mike Messina, when he was walking out of the stadium last night, he said, you know, everybody thinks, especially catchers, you have to be able to pitch in. He said, you have to do it. He said, but you need to spend an hour on the outside part of the plate and only 5 minutes on the inside corner. And of course, how do you pitch in? That's what Sandy Koufax used to always talk about. He said, you establish low and away. You get the hitter to actually look for that pitch because you keep throwing it there. And then the ball in doesn't have to be in as far.
Well, Messina made the point that Leo Mazzoni's been trying to make to the Oriole pitchers all year, is that when you do go inside, you don't even have to get the hitter out on that pitch. Just show it to him.
Yeah.
Because then he has to think, okay, well, if he will come inside, I have to look for that also.
And then he said, gee, if you just pitch away, it's, what is it, a single? It takes three singles to get a run.
There's a walk, and the first base runner allowed by Cabrera.
Well, the Yankees need something to get back into the game, and of course it usually starts with Daniel. He's averaged over 6 walks per 9 innings, and you know, Cairo hadn't hit a home run, and you know, he's not like you want to walk him. It's just sometimes he gets over his front side, or he loses arm angle, and he just gets out of rhythm. And I think what the Orioles hoped, the natural ability stuff is there. It's just that when he gets into these wild modes, he'll just be able to get out of them quicker.
Here's Andy Cannizaro, the rookie, getting a start at third base tonight. He takes strike one. Cannizaro batted .276 at AAA for the Columbus Clippers.
Yeah, the Twins running on command, it seemed like the other day. It could be 2.
Double play ball to Roberts, to Tejada, back to first, scoop by Millar, and 4-6-3 ends the inning, erasing that 1-out walk. Daniel Cabrera pitching to Gem, and the Orioles have a 5-0 lead.
The new XXX ESPN Radio.
94.3 to the west.
92.7 to the east.
And 7:30 a.m. all over D.C. If you want to make your hard-earned dollar go a whole lot farther, get ready. Advance Auto Parts has the low prices guaranteed to save you money. Get ready to save big on select items throughout the store. Now for a limited time, you can get 10 items for just $10. It's your chance to stock up and save big on all sorts of stuff, from gas treatment to air fresheners. Hey, we know money's tight, so Advance is helping you get more out of your car with our 10 for 10 sale. We're ready in advance.
Pro Football Now, Saturdays at midnight, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Tonight after the game on Sports Night, presented by PricewaterhouseCoopers.
You shall find Michael Jenkins and myself, Sage Steele, coming up on the show. Speculation surrounding Frank Robinson's future with the Nats is heating up as the season winds down. We'll have the latest and highlights between the Phils and the Nats. Virginia football looks for a chance to get healthy this Saturday at Duke. Al Groh is with us to talk about the Blue Devils, and we'll fill your need for speed with a not-so-leisurely ride on the Chesapeake. See that after the game.
Coming soon. Comcast Sportsnet.
The NHL is back.
See it, feel it in high definition.
Sports Night.
Capitals post-game live.
Hockey Night in Washington.
Team news, expert analysis.
And the most comprehensive Capitals coverage from the team that knows the game.
This is Capital Country. The NHL, back and better than ever.
Nobody does hockey better.
The Capitals return October 5th, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Yankee Stadium will head to the fourth, but first our Aflac trivia question for tonight. Name the last Orioles team that featured a trio of teammates that each had hit 300 career home runs. Teams with 300 home run hitters over the past couple of seasons. How about Tampa Bay? 3. Canseco, Greg Vaughn, and
that's
the
when
crime dog, Fred McGriff.
They were going to be the Tampa Bay Bombers that year.
Canseco's on 2 of those lists. Gary Sheffield's on a couple of those lists. Sean Henn deals to Morris, strike 1.
Yeah, pretty good fastball right there at 92. And You usually you see 26th round, and that's the round he was picked in. You don't think you're going to see a guy with a live arm. Great changeup to get Brian Roberts to strike out to end the inning.
Look towards first base. Henn will get there to flip to Sheffield. Nicely done and one away. You know, Jim, it's always fun to come back to Yankee Stadium because I get to see guys. You know, Craig Pianco, our high third base cameraman. I've known him since 7th grade. When St. Benedict's used to beat the heck out of St. Joe's in basketball. Come on, you know it's true. And Mike up here, our high home camera. Mike's been around so long, he used to work with my dad at Channel 11. And he's
black
been
and white, right?
Yeah, but well, no, he doesn't go. My father went back to the black and white days, but get to see a lot of nice people, so it's always fun to come back. And Pianco won't admit that we had a better team in 7th grade.
7th grade.
Yeah, I've known him a long time. He was a tough guy, man. He used to come off the bench. There he is. Yeah, well, they did also have the best player in the county. Danny Madden was just brilliant. He played like Pete Maravich in 7th grade. He was that much better than everybody.
Same hair?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Markakis to center field. Damon going back on it. Still going back on it. And he makes the grab. The wind may have given that a little bit of a ride.
Yeah, the wind looks like it's blowing out from across the field from right to left. At least that's what the flags. Out by the monuments right here. And Johnny Damon, not a very strong arm. You can see, I mean, perfect angle right here. You see him go back. He puts his head down, sees where the wall is, and then just keeps going. So obviously the ball carrying to straightaway center field, but you do have some room here. Maybe in that direction. Seems like it gets out here pretty quick and everywhere last night.
So 2 for 3 now for Markakis, and here's Miguel. He's one shy of tying the club record for most hits in a season. He picked up his 210th base hit in the first, and he drove in 2 runs with that base hit. So Miguel now needs 2 hits, which would make him a very, very unique hitter in baseball history. A player who leads 2 different franchises with most hits in a season. And the only other player to have that honor, Rogers Hornsby. Rogers Hornsby with the Cubs first. He had 229 hits in 1929. And with the St. Louis Cardinals as well. Line drive, base hit to right field. He's tied the record. There's number 211.
And so typical of the way he has hit the last maybe 4 months of this season. You know, they pitch him away, and that's pretty much what he does. And you know, we always talk about, and we've talked about this before, Tony Gwynn, who won 8 batting titles, used to call the 5.5 hole between short and third. He's got like the 3.5.
They threw the ball to the wrong dugout. And now somebody on the Yankee bench realizes and throws it to the other side. See, the Crow told us he was going to come through for that, and there he is. He has it for safekeeping. And thanking the Yankees for flipping that baseball over. So Miguel, 211 base hits. He's tied a record that has held since 1983. And there's that baseball. And here's Jay Gibbons.
I mean, you really look at the way his direction of his hits. That was the 74th base hit to right field. 83 to left, 38 now up the middle. So really sprays the ball around. They pitch him away. I think that's why the home runs are down a little bit. Gibbons out of the lineup, and he just takes what they give him.
And there was a proud tutor right there. Terry Crowley says that Miguel Tejada is as nice a guy to work with as anyone he's ever been around. He listens to all the suggestions. If the Crow feels he can do something to better help his swing, he says, okay, I'll try that. Broken bat bloop towards center field. Damon charging in on the ball, won't be able to get there. Tejada's going to third, and he's going to make it because he surprised Damon. So Miguel aggressively getting the third, and the Orioles have 2 on with 2 out.
Yeah, I think with the 2 outs, he wasn't really sure he wanted to go all the way to third, so he hesitated, and Damon kind of, I think, got his attention, and all of a sudden, and Damon doesn't throw particularly well, so he's just going to loop it. Jay is able to find the soft spot in the defense. And right here, I think Damon says, oh, he's going. And then doesn't even pick it up.
So Gibbons breaks his bat, but he gets a base hit, sending Tejada to third. Jay now on at first. And the Orioles have a chance to add to their lead with 2 men down. Ramon Hernandez. Fastball's high. And we're seeing tonight why baseball's the best game. Last night, it was just all one-sided. You come back tonight, your pitcher gives you a chance early on, your team gets some early runs, and all of a sudden it's a different game.
Well, their hitting instructor, one of the better Yankees in the 80s, Don Mattingly, and he said, you like to have great offense, boy, on a daily basis. You like to be able to pitch well and defense behind him. And of course, he won all kinds of gold gloves. And
he also has the Yankees single season hits record. Speaking of records, in 1986, Jimmy, he collected 238 base hits. That's more than any Yankee.
You know, I had lunch with Steve Hurd, who works for the Elias Sports Bureau, and he was talking about the numbers of Don Mattingly and Kirby Puckett are very, very much alike. The difference is Kirby Puckett had those 2 dramatic World Series, 87 and 91. Puckett with the glaucoma and Don Mattingly with the back problems that short-circuited both of their careers. And of course, Kirby tragically dying of a heart attack last year.
3-1 on Hernandez. Ball 4. And Ramon takes the walk, and all of a sudden the Orioles have the bases loaded with 2 men down.
Well, we've seen 2 young pitchers. They're both the same age, and Ron Guidry looking on. And Rasner doesn't throw quite as hard as Sean Henn, and it looks like he's got good stuff. A couple fastballs have been at 94 miles per hour, but in this day and age, hitters very selective, trying to get good pitches to hit, and you have to be in the strike zone. And of course, Rasner, when he did throw strikes, they were down the middle of the plate, and that's what we call being wild in the strike zone.
There's David Newhan, a chance for a couple of ribbies. And it's low, 1-0. Posada out to the mound just to break up the routine there of Sean Henn.
Well, Henn, a tall pitcher at 6'4", so you can see sometimes just losing that arm slot and then just cannot get the ball in the strike zone.
Center field, Damon is there, and he has it for the out. So Newhan hit it hard, but right to Johnny Damon. Miguel Tejada joins Cal Ripken and Oriole lore. Base hit number 211 to tie the record. The Orioles with a 5-0 lead.
Hokie fans, you already know the score, but catch old Virginia Tech action again. Watch Hokie playback Sunday at 12:30. Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech after Virginia Tech Sports Today, only on Comcast Sportsnet. College football on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you by RSN McGladrey.
This is it. It's clearance time at your Toyota dealer. Get the Toyota you want at a clearance price now. Choose a rugged 4Runner and get $1,500 cash back from Toyota or 1.9% APR financing for 5 years. Choose the ultimate family vehicle, an 8-passenger Sequoia, and get $2,500 cash back for 0% APR financing for 4 years. Don't miss the last big event of the summer. This is it. Toyota, moving forward.
This is it. Here at the new XXX ESPN Radio, we're not above doing our own grassroots marketing, letting the folks know where to hear their Skins games.
XXX ESPN Radio. It's hot. It's super hot. XXX ESPN Radio. The new XXX ESPN Radio. All right.
The Redskins play here.
The new XXX ESPN Radio. 94.3 to the west.
92.7 to the east.
And 7:30 a.m. all over D.C.
Mark Brunell.
Let's get the answer to our Aflac trivia question. Name the last Orioles team featuring a trio of teammates with each having 300 career home runs.
Let's see. I would think it would be Harold, Albert, and Calvin.
It's tough to have three. There's Johnny Damon in the Yankee fourth. It's a high fastball. Damon batting for just the second time in this game. And Johnny Damon, after 4 very successful seasons with the Red Sox, now for a first time will be heading to the postseason as a Yankee.
Well, they took a gamble. I mean, it's not like the Red Sox didn't go out and try to sign him. They offered him $40 million over 4 years, and the Yankees one-upped him 52 over 4. An extra $3 million a year. And he's done pretty much what he normally does, more home runs than he's ever hit. Of course, lately not as hot as he would like. He's only 3 for his last 23, but over 100 runs now for the 9th consecutive years. That's what a leadoff guy wants to do. He can steal some bases. 25 of them, and the key for him is to stay healthy. But he's never, I mean, he's not a good throw in center field.
Just missed. Wow. 3-2.
Well, back the second time to see Daniel Cabrera, and that's getting on about 36% of the time is Johnny Damon.
Ball 4, leadoff walk. So he just missed for ball 3, a pitch that looked like it could have been called a strike, and then misses well off the plate for ball 4. Second walk allowed by Cabrera. Comcast Sportsnet coverage of Orioles baseball in high definition is brought to you by your Toyota dealer, where you'll find the ride of your life. Toyota, moving forward. And by Pennzoil. Give your engine what it wants, not just oil, Pennzoil. Here's Robinson Cano. Rounded out to second base, his first at bat. Well, the Yankees have had 2 base runners now, both on walks. Cabrera walked with 1 down in the 3rd. He was erased on a double play ball. And now Damon works a leadoff walk in the 4th.
Yeah, Alex Rodriguez, who's taken the night off, at least initially. I mean, he's 8 for 18. He's at the biggest numbers with a couple of home runs against Daniel Cabrera.
Came right at him, and Cano a little late on the swing, and he fouls it off.
Cano 0 for 7, not a lot of history. Johnny Damon, who he walked, was 1 for 10. But I'm sure the people watching understand that a walk's just like a base hit. I mean, you do take the bat out of somebody's hand, so there's not a chance to hit a home run or an extra base. But
knocked down by Ramon Hernandez. He came with a slider.
Yeah, very nice play by Ramon, because that ball easily could have gotten by him.
There's Alex Rodriguez on the Yankee bench. Enjoying a night off. And he got him. Oh, another off-speed pitch. And there's what you were talking about earlier, Jim. You develop some kind of an off-speed pitch, whether it's a slower version of your breaking ball or a changeup, and you get good hitters out in front.
Yeah, and it's such a quality curveball, and that's why Daniel Cabrera, everybody thinks, you know, he has such a high ceiling, because not because he's 6'7", but because of his natural ability. I mean, he just has the ability to throw the ball, and awfully good breaking ball. But to be more consistent, that's why he needs that 3rd pitch. And Mazzoni is hoping that he will work on in the offseason and in spring training, coming up with a changeup. He has one, just doesn't throw it very much.
Double play ball to Roberts. Tejada 1. Back to Millar. There's 2. So twice in this game, Cabrera's walked the batter, and he's been able to get a double play ball. Cabrera has a 5-0 lead.
You could pay $299.99 for a 100% wool suit like this at some stores. Or at K&G, you could look just as stylish for only $99.99. K&G. For men, for women, for less.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
Aflac. The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Lose your ball?
No, it's right here. I'm just thinking about my next shot.
Thinking?
Yeah, just thinking.
Always a good idea, my young friend.
Shearing. Enemy of engines. Enemy of shearing? Pennzoil Platinum. It's the full synthetic with adaptive molecules that continually separate and reform to help conquer the forces that can tear oil molecules apart. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
Fans, don't forget to add yourself to the list to receive 2007 season ticket information. Just call the Orioles at 888-848-BIRD. And as soon as the 2007 season plan information is available, you'll be contacted about all of the great seat locations and exciting orange carpet privileges reserved for season plan holders. 888-848-BIRD to add your name to the list. Another proud Orioles fan here, sitting with Yankee fans. And here's Kevin Millar to lead off in the fifth. Kevin has been on base once tonight. Now, he was talking about how when you play every day, and you were talking before about with Ramon Hernandez, you know, there's peaks and valleys and ups and downs. You're hot, you're slumping. As Millar hits it deep to left field, but he hooks it foul. But when you play every day, you always feel that the next day will be the day that you figure out what's going on and you can break out of it. When you're not getting regular at-bats, you tend to dwell on it a little bit.
Oh, of course. And then you just try to overachieve. You know you're only going to get a limited opportunity.
There's a bloop to left field, and he doinked in another one. There's a classic doink. Broke his bat, and he's on with a single. Well, here's the race for the home field advantage in the American League. The Tigers have lost today, which means if Minnesota wins at home tonight against Kansas City, those two teams are tied for first place with 3 games to go. They're both, of course, going to the postseason. One will be the Central champ. One will be the wild card, and Oakland will not be able to get home field advantage. And the key to that, as Jim Palmer mentioned before, is if Minnesota ends up with that home field advantage, that means you have those extra games and the decisive games at the Metrodome.
And they come into tonight's game 52-25, which is the best home record in the American League. Toronto pretty good at home, 50-31, but not quite as good. And Oakland not bad at home, 49-32. We told you the Yankees 49-28. Joe Torre said would love to play as many games as you can here at Yankee Stadium because of the 55,000 people that will cheer them on.
Fiorentino fouls it back,
but he also made it very clear he's not going to fail to rest his guys down the stretch.
Right. They have the Blue Jays in here for 3 games this weekend. So Alex Rodriguez will certainly get back in. Ball in the dirt. Millar thought about going down, but stayed put. You know, of course, now that you have the situation where a second team from one of the divisions goes, if the Twins and Tigers end up tied, the division championship goes to the team that had the better record between those two teams. That happened with the Yankees and the Red Sox.
And I believe it's the Tigers.
Strike three called. Yeah. Fiorentino thought that pitch was a ball. And then a strikeout number 2 for Sean Henn. First out here in the 5th. Here's Brian Roberts. Brian has 1 hit on the night. An infield hit in the 2nd inning, already batting for a 4th time. And he pops it up. Cano charging out. Charging in is Abreu, who calls him off. Grabs it for the 2nd out.
Yeah, Gold Glover last year. Some of the coaches in Philadelphia saying, well, I don't know if he should have won it, but he did win it. So even if you're not a Gold Glover, if you win it, that means you got to be pretty good. And of course, with Sheffield out and Matsui out in left field, the injuries early on, there's Larry Boa.
And it helps if you can hit to win that award.
Oh, yes. Well, that's all right. But, you know, even if you're the 5th best right fielder and your normal guy's hurt, which Sheffield was, as we were talking on Tuesday, they have the financial wherewithal to go out and get a player like Abreu, and what, another year on his contract at, I don't know, what, $16-17 million.
You know what I wish they would do with the Gold Glove voting for the outfield is give an award for each position.
Versus just
they just in any year 3 center fielders could win the 3 Gold Gloves. It's ridiculous.
And it's really not fair because it's probably easier to play center field than the other positions. And then again, I mean, just imagine if you played. It'd be hard to win a Gold Glove, I think, in Fenway Park because it's such a unique ballpark. Even though you have to play half your games on the road, but it's different. Most center fielders would tell you they love to be out there because it's easier to see the ball in the hitting zone and you can get better jumps and whatever, but they're totally different positions.
I mean, most outfielders who are good enough to be considered for that award play the same position day in and day out. I mean, I realize there's some guys that do play all the positions, but guys that are that efficient and of that caliber, you know, it's like Ichiro Suzuki in the American League in right field. He doesn't play anywhere else, you know, so he doesn't deserve to have to go against a center fielder for a Gold Glove. Of course, Ichiro wins it anyway because he's that good. And you know, it's like voting for all shortstops and saying, well, let's give the Gold Gloves in the infield, but you got to be a shortstop
because you have more range.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's
well, even though Suzuki is has actually been playing center field down the stretch for the Mariners. Alex Rodriguez was one of the best in a couple of Gold Gloves at shortstop. He's much better shortstop than he's been third baseman, especially this year with 23 errors.
Well, Moore down on strikes. The inning ends. Leadoff single man left. We're halfway through, and the Orioles leading 5-0.
When the coach talks, we're there. Get the inside scoop on Sunday's game. Comcast Sportsnet brings you Joe Gibbs' press conference, live and uninterrupted. Watch Monday at 4:45 from the official cable network of the Washington Redskins, Comcast Sportsnet.
He's no Gary. There's Gary in there. I still had a sip left. Dude, that was amazing. It was what I had to do.
When someone tries to take your unfinished Bud Light, you must react with quickness. Try to take my Bud Light.
Actually, you can just keep that one.
Again!
Oh. How'd you do that?
That was not me. That was my cousin Lou.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Again!
Dad, you do it.
There are times when money should be the last thing on your mind. That's when it's good to know there are home equity choices from Provident. Get expert advice and some of the best home equity rates available. Provident Bank, just the right size for you to grow.
Red wine.
And as you can see, ma'am, the numerical 462 only takes a second to work. Scratch off?
Oh, gee, thanks.
Tonight on Sports Night, presented by PricewaterhouseCoopers. T-Sizzle status, the update on Terrell Suggs, Cavs Chalk Talk with Coach Al Groh, and Feel the Power Boats. All that tonight, right after the game and right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Here we go to the bottom of the fifth. Orioles have a 5-0 lead, 2 in the first, 3 in the third. Giambi, Sheffield, Matsui. Cabrera through 4 innings has faced the minimum. 12 batters. Yankees have had 2 base runners, both on walks, and both have been erased on double play balls.
Yeah, pretty hard to get to that 90-mile-per-hour fastball. Of course, the story on Giambi is that he had the wrist problem, series of cortisone shots, and he started to hit on off a tee on Tuesday, and then yesterday, right there, just throwing the ball by him, he had gone about 3 home runs. Right here, he doesn't miss this one though. It's a screamer down the right field line, keeps it fair, 2-run shot early on. That would start it off for the Yankees. They would end up hitting another 4 home runs.
And he did that in his first at bat after sitting out the 6 games with the sore wrist.
It's not completely well. And of course, the reason he doesn't want to play first base is it's the left wrist, and that's how you have to catch all the ground balls and throws and whatever. So they figured that maybe that might irritate it.
Giambi fights off a tough pitch to stay alive. Cabrera has struck out 2. He's walked 2 and has not allowed a run.
Well, the thing that you like to look at, and of course this is the leadoff hitter here in the 5th, there's only 52 pitches. So that is a low pitch count for Miguel Cabrera. But see, he overthrows that, and when he does, you can see his head go left, and there's no way you can get over your front side and take that chin to the glove. And here's a guy that, you know, the 7 out of the last 8 years, Jason Giambi has walked over 100 times. He is an on-base machine. And if you throw it, he's going to try to hit a home run.
Left field, back on it, Fiorentino. And then comes back in, makes the grab for the out, 1 away.
Yeah, you get an idea why he became a pull hitter here at Yankee Stadium. There's a lot of room out there.
You see the porch in right field with a left-handed hitter's feast.
Yeah, well, there's a little wind tunnel out that way, and then we've already seen the wind blowing out tonight, so it's just a lot of room. Great place to pitch if you can throw fly balls.
There's Gary Sheffield. Your friend Ken Singleton was just talking about you in the other booth.
Probably talking about how I used to move him around. He wouldn't move. Singy, move over. Nope, I'm not moving.
Come on, Siggy. I'm going to pitch him down and away. Move over.
Well, I did have a game. I had a 2-0 lead one day, and I turned around, and a little left-handed hitter from Oakland, and Earl would go crazy when I would do that. But 2-run lead. I'm not going to walk up, and the next line drive is right. If Kenny doesn't put his glove up, it's going to hit him right in the middle of the chest.
Got under it, left field. Fiorentino will come in on the ball. It's a tough outfield tonight with that wind that he stays with and 2 men out.
And we've returned to Jimmy Fry, who used to move the outfielders, and I guess he said, I guess he is smarter than we were. I mean, literally didn't have to move. One of those, because a lot of times you play a guy a certain way based on how you're going to pitch him, but then of course the game changes. You react to how they're reacting to you, what kind of stuff you have, what the score of the game is. There's just so many little subtle things. you like to think that your infielders and your outfielders will pay attention to that and be in tune, but I don't think you can ever assume that.
Matsui, a hard hit ball to Roberts, who gloves and gets it to first. So Cabrera continues on. 5 innings, 15 batters, and a 5-0 lead.
Tonight after the game on Sports Night, presented by PricewaterhouseCoopers.
You shall find Michael Jenkins and myself, Sage Steele, coming up on the show. Speculation surrounding Frank Robinson's future with the Nats is heating up as the season winds down. We'll have the latest and highlights between the Phils and the Nats. Virginia football looks for a chance to get healthy this Saturday at Duke. Al Groh is with us to talk about the Blue Devils, and we'll fill your need for speed with a not-so-leisurely ride on the Chesapeake. See that after the game.
Coming soon. Comcast Sports Night. The NHL is back. See it, feel it in high definition. Sports Night. Capitals post-game live. Hockey night in Washington. Team news, expert analysis.
And the most comprehensive Capitals coverage from the team that knows the game.
This is Capital Country. The NHL, back and better than ever.
Nobody does hockey better.
The Capitals return October 5th, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Friday Night Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. The Orioles take on the Red Sox in an AL East duel live from Fenway Park. Catch the action with exclusive game night coverage starting at 6:30. The Orioles, the Red Sox. Friday Night Baseball only on Comcast Sportsnet. Get closer to the action every Saturday with Sports Night on campus. We're taking Sports Night on the road to area schools and bringing you the entire college experience. This Saturday, the road show stops in Blacksburg for Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech. Show us your game face and stop by the Comcast Sportsnet broadcast location. Sports Night on campus, Saturday at 10, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Well, welcome back, Yankee Stadium in New York. Jim Hunter, Jim Palmer, Advance Auto Parts. Chris Green with us. He'll be producing tomorrow night in Boston. Rich Wolf, it's his final game. Here's Bob Anderson, our stage manager. He makes a mean cup of coffee when he goes down the hall to get it for us. Here's Mike. Mike's been here all night, but having a good time here. And Richie Wolf, it's his last game tonight.
Soccer boy will move on to greater.
Got a better offer apparently. To DC United is playing, so our producer Richie Wolf, who we always enjoy working with, is
soccer man.
He's leaving us. Oh, he's a man?
Well, yeah, he just told me. Not soccer boy.
Here's Nick Markakis.
Sean Henn actually has done a pretty nice job. I mean, he's walking the tightrope a little bit, with a lot of pitches, but he has kept the Orioles right where they were after the 3-run home run from Ramon Hernandez. And Daniel Cabrera kind of on a roll. Has yet to give up something that.
You're allowed to say it. You're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, well, he hadn't yet to give up a base hit through 5 innings.
When Mike Messina almost pitched a perfect game against the Indians, he got about 5 letters accusing me of being the reason he didn't get it.
Yeah, I think maybe Sandy Alomar Jr. might have been.
I agree.
Who got the base hit to left field, if I remember correctly.
Markakis towards left. It will curl back to Matsui and 1 away. So here comes Miguel Tejada now as Markakis skies out. Miguel, 2 hits tonight to tie Cal Ripken's club record. 211 base hits as he walks to the plate here in the 6th inning. 1 hit.
Had a pretty balanced year. 332, 24, and 100.
Nothing in 1. He holds the Athletics single season record. In 2002, he had 204 base hits. That's most in Oakland Athletics history. And with 1 base hit, he will hold the Orioles single season record. That is a unique duo. He and Rogers Hornsby, the only 2 in baseball history that will have that distinction, to lead 2 separate franchises with most hits in a season. We thought Rod Carew might have done that.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but
the Angels, it's Darren Erstad. He had the
242 or whatever.
240.
Yeah.
Peru does hold the Twins record, 239 in 1977.
Yeah, I would have figured even though Oliva won 3 batting titles, Rodney won 7, he would have gotten more hits because he was able to bunt so well.
Tejada hoping for a play, has it, and he grabs it for the out. And 2 men down.
Yeah, the wind blowing to left, so it's going to blow the balls back, probably swirling. And the one thing about it, you probably have more room behind home plate here in Yankee Stadium, not down the lines, than in just about any place in the American League. I remember one day the Oriole first base coach Rick Dempsey, they were like 3 or 4 pop flies, but all might be catchable. Demper running back, sliding, goes back to home plate. The next one, 4 straight. But the guy was in. Of course, he was one of the more highly conditioned catchers you've ever seen. He used to run with the pitchers. There's the Demper.
He was asking us about rituals on the air as Gibbons rips it in the right field for his second base hit. He wanted to know, and you would have loved this conversation. I'm glad you weren't there. He wanted to know how much coffee we drink during a broadcast.
You drink?
Well, and Joe Angel he was talking to because Joe likes coffee too. And I said, well, I don't have a routine. I mean, I'll enjoy a cup of coffee. Matter of fact, hey, Bob. No, we got Jimmy here. I'm kidding you. But, yeah, he was actually very interested. He wanted to know when you're on the air, like, is there a set number? Do you have a cup every 2 innings or every 3 innings? Oh, where's this coming from? Thursday night in New York. I've never counted. But he wanted to know, so the answer so far tonight is none.
No coffee?
No, I didn't get
well,
downstairs.
Not on nights where you're going to have no hitters pitched.
Oh, you mean I can't get one on?
No, you can.
Oh, I can.
But you may not want to get one and jinx them because you're going to get more letters.
All right.
Talking about it doesn't jinx them. Having coffee does. You didn't know that?
Hold the coffee. No one in this booth is allowed to have a cup of coffee.
Well, they're pretty special times when you see no hitters.
All right. Well,
yeah,
that's a Yankee fan. They're hoping for a base hit. Daniel's staying off the coffee.
Well, I guess it could be said that after 16 runs, 18 hits, 9 extra base hits last night, they're tired. But they went through 2 entirely different lineups last night, didn't we? Didn't we see like 18 different people?
He had 7 guys come off the bench last night, so the 9 16, that started and 7 more.
Yeah, making sure that Sheffield got all the at bats so he could work on playing first base.
That one floats in for a strike, 2-2. Ramon looked like he thought it was high. Well, Sean Henn gets back even.
Well, there's a big difference between hitting 2-2 and 3-1. That home run coming on a 2-1 fastball up and away, and he hit it right down the right field line. Well, how many times have we seen Derek Jeter do that?
Ball 3.
Yeah, this is pretty, very reachable. It's a little bit like Camden Yards. I mean, like the old Memorial Stadium, which was 309 down the line. So if you shoot the ball down the lines at either right or left, you can hit some home runs. Now, of course, that used to be 301 down the left field line and 296 to right field before they remodeled this.
Soft line drive, and Cairo back on the ball as it hangs for him. Base hit a man left. Cabrera going back to work with a 5-0 lead.
You are now free to move about the country. You are now free to move about the country.
Paula Sela is a real Geico customer, not an actor. So to help tell her story, we hired that announcer guy from the movies.
When the storm hit, both our cars were totally underwater.
In a world where both of our cars were totally underwater.
We thought it would take forever to get some help.
But a new wind was about to blow.
With Geico, we had our check in 2 days.
Payback. This time, it's for real.
Geico. Real service, real savings.
A new season of television's most prestigious fishing tournament returns. FLW Outdoors, where top anglers compete for the right to be crowned world champion on Comcast Sportsnet.
Let's get a look at our Geico highlights so far tonight for Daniel Cabrera, who has faced 15 batters in 5 innings.
Yeah, no hits as we mentioned, but a couple of walks, and then strike out to Giambi on a great curveball right here after a walk. He gets Canizero to double him up, 1 pitch, 2 outs, and then right here another strikeout, good curveball, and then after a walk, Abreu tailor-made 4-6-3. I suppose if you're going to walk people, come right back. A lot of first pitch strikes for Daniel Cabrera, and then as you can see, after a very productive offensive night, the Yankees yet to get a hit into the 6th inning.
Lower third of the lineup. Here's Posada. Bouncer to first. Millar plays the in-between hop. Wow. 1 down. That one looked like trouble.
Well, it was hit hard enough that you really don't have much of a chance. And of course, Kevin, I think he's pretty aware. And right there, he was going to make sure his body got in front of it. But as it turns out, not only the body, the glove, the important part. And of course, we were talking to Gary Sheffield, who's trying to go move from right field to first base. The first baseman glove, if you're not used to it. And Kevin, of course, has played a lot of first base. It's a very big glove. Great for picking up throws, but
Cairo takes a ball.
You can put a ball in a first baseman glove and sometimes not even know it's there. A long web.
Ball 2.
One of the 2 walks, Miguel Cairo.
Ground ball towards the middle. Tejada gets there, fires low. Oh, dropped by Millar. Now it's up to the official score.
Yeah, that's going to be an error. That is such a routine play that if he scores it a base hit.
Error on Millar for dropping the ball.
On a bounce throw?
You just said E3.
Well, I mean, this is a one-hopper.
You hear the fans booing. They wanted a hit. Error on Millar for dropping the ball.
Well, somebody should get the error. I'm never. Pretty tough play for a first baseman. Backhand, not routine. Either way, they get a base runner.
Fans reacting to the digit on the scoreboard that went up in the error column, not in the hit column for the Yankees.
Well, they don't want their team to get no hit, but it was nothing but an error on that play. A little unusual when a shortstop bounces a play on a routine throw that you give the error to the first baseman. Kind of a moot point. He's on first. And
Bill Shannon is the official scorer tonight. He's a veteran. He's been doing it a long time. And
I was talking to him last night. He actually gave me a scoring book.
Yeah, it's a fascinating book.
I'm going to have to go in there and see
what he says about those. Yeah, but he watched the monitor and saw Millar drop the ball. That one just missed. Here's a look at our Ford in-game box score in the column on the left.
Yep, the all-important one. And last night, the 18 hits and the 5 home runs and the 4 doubles and the 16 runs. And once again, a terrific play. And it's a terrific play because you keep the double play in order. And the last time Canizero came to the plate, he bounced into a double play. Well out. I mean, that's probably what, about 57 feet. And this would be a situation most likely that if it was a close game, Cairo would steal a base. He's that good. He's 12 out of 13.
2-2 on Cannizzaro. Check swing, and he went too far.
Yeah.
There's a strikeout. So there is number 3, 2 men down, so the inning could be over. Cabrera will have to go to another batter with a man on base. And 2 men down. Fans, don't forget to enter to win the Orioles Spring Training Sweepstakes. Just get online, Orioles.com. You fill out a survey, and you'll be registered for a trip for 2 to Fort Lauderdale for spring training. The grand prize includes Southwest Airlines airfare, hotel accommodations, game tickets, and more. Log on to Orioles.com now. You take the survey, and you can win a trip for spring training 2007. And here is Johnny Damon.
And what that error does, it forces Millard to hold Cairo. So the first base hole is vacated because of Millard's defensive position.
Ball and a strike.
And Damon, it's such a tough out because we saw last night off of Bruce Chen, the fastball inside middle, hit a home run, career high 24th. To pitch him away, he'll poke it in the hole, and then his speed allows him to beat out a lot of balls. Earlier in the year, he beat the Orioles on a home run over the center field fence into the wind, dead into the wind. Probably described it was I think an extra inning home run off Chris Ray, and he said it was probably the hardest ball he's ever hit. Mike Messina, who will pitch game 2 of the division championships, who yet to be determined who that'll be against.
Messina took a perfect game into the 9th inning at Camden Yards.
Well, he also took a perfect game with 2 outs up in Boston.
There's strike 2.
There's a strike, and then Carl Everett, who he owned, used to strike him out on, hit a little soft single to left center field.
So Cairo will be off with the pitch. This will allow Millard to get back defensively. And he just got a piece. Oh my goodness.
Well, Johnny Damon, as we mentioned, he just kind of flicks it away, and it's a very unusual hitting style. He always talks about how he'll let the top hand, that left hand, go. But he's very strong and much bigger than you might think.
Line drive to right. Markakis is there, and he puts it away for the out. So Cabrera gets out of it, and the 0 remains on the scoreboard. Error man left. We're heading to the 7th. What a gem being spun by Daniel Cabrera. Orioles trying to get a win in this series behind Daniel Cabrera, have a 5-0 lead.
Saturday Night Soccer, DC United and the Houston Dynamo, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
If you want to make your hard-earned dollar go a whole lot farther, get ready. Advance Auto Parts has the low prices guaranteed to save you money. Get ready to save big on select items throughout the store. Now, for a limited time, you can get 10 items for just $10. It's your chance to stock up and save big on all sorts of stuff, from gas treatment to air fresheners. Hey, we know money's tight, so Advance is helping you get more out of your car with our 10 for 10 sale. We're ready in advance.
Jaguar, Land Rover, together at last to celebrate one very special event. Jim Coleman Jaguar and Land Rover announce we are now open. But one more thing. Because it's what you wanted, our exclusive Auto for Life. A worry-free experience designed with you in mind, and it's worth its weight in gold. Previously owned Jaguars and Land Rovers are available in great abundance. Nobody beats a Jim Coleman deal. And now, Auto for Life for you.
Stan, I hear the new CEO loves those new Rico color MFPs.
Yeah, the new fellow's the CFO, Chief Financial Officer.
The money guy.
Yeah.
And that affordable Rico color printing, he's loving it.
You know, Jerry, maybe you should be CEO.
You think?
Sure.
Move your ideas forward with Rico dependability.
Well, back at Yankee Stadium, and Daniel Cabrera is putting the towel around that valuable right arm to keep it warm as the Yankees come up. And Jim, here's a look at our forward in-game box score for the Birds.
Well, the Orioles score early, and of course Markakis with a double, Tejada a 2-run single, and then Ramon Hernandez, a career-high 22nd home run, a 3-run shot just inside the foul pole down the right field line.
Jose Veras comes on, third pitcher used tonight by the Yankees as we head to the 7th.
Yeah, one of those September call-ups, and this will be his 11th appearance, and gave up a couple of runs in his last one on Saturday. Actually had a chance to pitch against the Blue Jays and made his major league debut against the Orioles back in August. So the closer in Columbus with 21 saves earlier in the year, and a chance to impress the Yankees.
And there's a high strike called on Newhan. David flied out to center field, the deep center field, his last at bat. Millar and Fiorentino will follow.
Pretty good breaking ball, kind of backdoored it. He was a free agent, and the Yankees signed him on the 31st of December in 1905, and last year in Oklahoma City.
David Newham with a leadoff single here in the 7th. Good at bat. He's stuck with it. Orioles looking to add to their lead.
I heard the scorer talking, Jim, about why they gave the error to Millar. Something about being with the Red Sox, and no, actually, what he said was.
Oh, you saw Bill?
Well, I just saw him talking to somebody as I went by, and you can see Tejada with the wind blowing and gusting here, getting over there very quickly. But he said he thought he short-armed it. But again, a pretty controversial call. Not that it has a whole lot of bearing on anything, because whether Tejada gets the error or Millar, the runner gets on Cairo, and then of course Daniel Cabrera able to get out of it.
There's Bill giving the line for Sean Henn, who has just exited the game.
But it makes sense that he would rather give an error to a former Red Sox.
Absolutely. The Yankees, in their long history, have had opposing pitchers no-hit them only 7 times. Going back to 1901. Millar to short. This could be 2. Cairo to second 1. Back to first. There's 2. The last was in 2003, and it was an interesting matchup because it was interleague baseball. And the Houston Astros here used 6 different pitchers to combine on a no-hitter, much like the last Orioles no-hitter.
Out in Oakland.
Bob Malacky, Mike Flanagan, Mark Williamson, Greg Olson, July 13th of 1991. Prior to that no-hitter, you have to go back to Mr. Jim Palmer in 1969 for a no-hitter.
Then you had Tom Phoebus. Phoebe pitched one against the Red Sox on a very rainy afternoon up in Boston. Kurt Blefary caught him. The late Kurt Blefary, who was then Rookie of the Year.
Well,
they're pretty exciting. You know, you get in the late innings and you start thinking about them. And I think one of our keys to the game tonight, Jim Coleman keys, was basically a cushion for Cabrera, and they got that early. 2 runs early on, and added 3 more in the 3rd. against the best offense in the American League. An offense that was A+, as Chris Benson described him last night.
There's that valuable arm. There's a strike, 3-1.
And it doesn't hurt to pitch against the Yankees when Jeter takes the night off and Rodriguez takes the night off. Doesn't mean you're going to no-hit him, but
it's still a pretty good lineup.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm not saying it isn't. But when you look at the Yankees and you take these two guys out, you're taking out what, 48 home runs, about 214 RBIs, 47 stolen bases. And just think if A-Rod was having a good year.
That's right. Around here, apparently he's not.
Most guys would die to have, to be hitting 284 or 6 and 34 home runs, 118 RBIs.
Well, who was it that said, I can't go out there and win 20 games because then they'll want me to do it every year. Was that Roger Craig that said that?
No, that was actually Milt Pappas.
Milt Pappas. That's A-Rod's problem. You hit 50 home runs, they expect you to do it every year. Especially when they come to your team.
But he expects to do it every year too. And Don Mattingly talking about that, but I think all players put high ceilings. I think this year, obviously with Brian Roberts, we talked about it earlier, maybe a little bit different coming off an injury. Just wanted to be healthy enough to go out there, and he's been able to do that.
Fiorentino at first following the walk. Lined right to Cairo. There's the final out of the 7th. 7th inning stretch at Yankee Stadium. Cabrera getting set to go back to work.
Thursday, October 5th, the Capitals return on Comcast Sportsnet. Jaromir Jagr and the Rangers face off against Alexander Ovechkin and the Capitals in an opening night showdown. Thursday, October 5th, the Caps and Rangers, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Force 3 asks, which IT buzzwords annoy you most?
Best of breed. We work with best of breed technology partners. What do they have, good teeth and shiny coats? Hey, here's my idea. Anyone that comes into your office and says best of breed, you hit them in the nose with a rolled up newspaper and say no.
It takes more than buzzwords to solve network problems. We're Force 3. We help people manage their networks, and we do it in English, not geek speak. Force 3. Networks are people.
Just gonna get Career, guys. Frank, how are we gonna get up there? Frank? How'd you get up there?
Just takes practice.
Nothing must come between you and your Bud Light. Begin!
Can we talk about this?
Again!
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
One Bud Light, please.
Our First Fidelity Mortgage sights and sounds of the game. Chris Grain getting in the montage. And Miguel Tejada, it's been some kind of a night for Miggy so far. Could be bigger with his next at-bat. Time now for the Just for Men hair color target spotlight. Miguel Tejada, 2 base hits to tie Cal Ripken's single-season club record.
Yeah, the first one just singed up the middle, and Melvin Moore, who had walked Marquez a double, make it 2-0. And then he would do as he 74th time he has hit a base hit or extra base hit or home run to right field this year. So a very balanced attack, and Orioles with 11 hits, 5 runs, and of course Miggy setting the tone early on. And now, of course, if you're a defensive player, the Orioles need 9 outs Need outs before the Yankees get 5 runs, but they need 9 outs without a hit. And Daniel Cabrera will have a no-hitter. Of course, you know, he's the type of guy, though, Jim, if you look at his stuff, everybody goes the kind of guy that has no-hitter stuff. And he's not easy to hit because he can be all over the place. I mean, it's not every pitch is going to be low and away, but it's usually going to have great velocity on it. And his curveball, you know, is swooping down tonight. All of his 3 strikeouts on curveball. Probably not an overpowering fastball tonight, but and the balls that have been hit hard,
right
like
at
Damon, and right at people. You know, Abreu hit a double play ball, but right at Brian Roberts. Not a lot of balls hit hard.
Well, here's Robinson Cano, began the night 2nd in the league in batting. He has grounded out to Roberts. He has struck out. Cabrera has faced only 1 batter over the minimum because of the error in the 6th inning. The Yankees have left just the 1 man on base. The 2 walks allowed by Daniel, each erased on double play balls. Lined right to Morrow, 1 down.
Well, you know, I pitched a 1-hitter here in 1967, and I gave up a hit very much like this, except Forrest Clark hit it up the middle, and Jake Gibbs hit a double play ball, and he only faced 27 batters that night. It was when I had the bad arm, and I was throwing about 80 miles per hour, and it was like Stu Miller. And it was, you know, I would go up to Boston, face 3 hitters, give up 3 runs, and then never pitch again that season. But this is not one of those kind of performances. And this is, you know, a lot of strikes, and being able to get ahead of most of the Yankee hitters.
And then the game you pitched your no-hitter, you were effectively wild.
Well, I had just come off the disabled list, and it was my 2nd start, and I walked Reggie Jackson in the 9th inning, and I had an 8-0 lead. I mean, it was a little more substantial than this 5-0 lead, but I got Danny Cater to hit a double play ball, and Bobby Floyd. Earl had not put in Belanger or Davey Johnson for defense, and Bobby Floyd knocked it down. I mean, he just kind of fumbled it, got to force it second. Then I walked a couple of guys and got Larry Haney out.
Rounded towards the hole. Roberts to his left, bobbles it, picks it up, throws, safe.
Oh, there's another error.
And there's another error. The error is going to go up on the scoreboard. And the reason the fans reacting.
And the reason you get an error is because he was in front of it. Now, it was a very difficult play because Brian Robert is on the grass. And what happens is the ball goes from the dirt to the grass, so it's going to come up a little bit. But good range to get in front of it. You know, he doesn't have the backhand. See, it comes up right there. And that's why he's unable to play it.
That's an error.
Yep. Now, if he doesn't center that ball, if he has to backhand it or dive for it, it's a whole different story. But once again, what it does is open up the hole.
Ball 1 to Giambi.
And of course, the Yankees, they want to use that impetus to get back into this game. You got a guy that, you know, last night 3 hits. If you don't throw him strikes, you can see the pitch count for Yandy Cabrera. He'll go to first base. Jason Giambi does not get cheated when it comes to swinging the bat.
Pop foul out of play. You know, it's kind of amazing in this game in which he's trying to do something very rare and very special. Orioles behind Cabrera all season, Jim, in his previous 25 starts have committed 3 errors. In this game tonight, where he's trying to do something very special for a pitcher, they've committed 2 behind him.
Yeah, the Millar error or the Tejada error, whoever they give it to, that ball's going to twist foul out of here, but that was pretty routine. That was not an easy play for Brian Roberts, only because the ball hitting the lip of the outfield grass and coming up. Is it a play he usually makes? Yes, but it certainly wasn't a simple play. Well, if you're playing defensively, this will heighten your senses, wouldn't you think? They all know he's got, I mean, the bullpen's standing up. You don't get to see something like this, whether he gets it or not. And even more important, it's, Daniel just trying to get closer to 500. I mean, he's been a much better pitcher since he was sent out to the minor leagues. When he went down, I think his focus a lot better.
1-2 on Giambi. Overthrows. It gets out of the glove of Hernandez, and that allows Abreu to get down to second. So there goes the chance for a double play. Pass ball charge to Ramon Hernandez. Tough to catch those high fastballs sometimes. It spun right out of the glove.
Yeah, ball takes off. He just kind of dropped his head a little bit, and now they will go out and talk about what kind of signs they want to use with a runner on second. First time this has happened tonight. Daniel, 118 pitches in his last start. Pitch count right now at 83. So you have a runner in scoring position, but you have Millar off the base with a pull hitter, and usually they would put a shift on Giambi, but that's not the case right now.
Line drive down the line, foul. Well, the one thing about pitch counts, of course, in a game like this, he's not coming out regardless, but it's his last start of the year.
Yeah.
So, if he goes a few more than they normally would let him, it's not going to matter because he won't pitch again until next spring training. Well, a long time to rest up. The tension beginning to rise here. Bobby hooked the foul.
Yeah, you're wondering right now, if you're Daniel, what can I get him out with? He struck him out on the curveball, but threw him a fastball away, and he hit it just down the line right there on the curveball. That's why it'd be nice to have a third pitch. You may not use it, even though Nolan Ryan no-hit the Orioles, and he struck out Bobby Grich on a 2-2 changeup with a no-hitter on the line, and Bobby couldn't even pull the trigger.
All three.
But see, the Yankees are not thinking about getting no hit. They're thinking about how they can win this ball game. And you got Sheffield on deck. He hit a ball very hard to Moore early on. You have a guy that if you don't throw him strikes will take the walk down at first, and that's Giambi. And we saw their offensive capabilities last night.
3-2 on Giambi, who's a tough hitter because of that batting eye. And he got him with a slider. 2 men out. What a pitch. And smothered by Hernandez.
Yeah, that's the key right there. He keeps it out in front of him, and this ball goes straight down. Well, there's another good curveball, very similar to the first strikeout. And no chance to get to the backstop because Ramon does a very nice job.
Well, here are the 3 complete game no-hitters thrown in Orioles history, and my partner had the last in 1969. The other 2 no-hitters in club history were combined no-hitters.
Didn't we have one with Stu Miller and a bunch of guys, and they actually lost against the Tigers, like 65?
Yes. Sheffield gets by Hernandez, sending Abreu to third. Abreu with a big turnaround third, and he stays put. Another pass ball.
Yeah, Abreu, yeah. I mean, he's got awfully good speed. He's thinking, okay, if you're not going to go, I know that obviously he's not going to get thrown out down by 5 runs, but 29 steals this year.
So 1-0 the count. 2 men down. Line towards Mora. He knocks it down. Picks it up. Won't have a play, a run score, and Sheffield is on.
And there's another error. You can't give him a base hit on that because it's very playable.
No RBI. It's a 5-1 game.
Well, Gary
Yankee
Sheffield
fans are booing even more.
Well, Sheffield hits the ball with such top spin because he can get on top of the ball. And Melvin had a lot of time, but I think kind of frenetic because of the situation. He didn't have to play it that way. but he does, and when he does, he doesn't come up with it. So not only another error, it's another base runner and a run for the Yankees. So now they pull within 4. And what it does, I mean, it's just allowing more Yankees and the pitch count to get up, more Yankees to come to the plate.
Now the fans are awake because a long ball here, and it's a 2-run game.
Oh, yeah.
Low ball 1.
And I mean, can you imagine what Daniel Cabrera, he's never been at this point in his career, where you have this type of game going this late in the inning. Now, he's been awfully good on occasion, but never this good.
In 2004 against Arizona, he had a perfect game going into the 7th inning.
Yeah,
and there was a rain delay, and then in the 7th inning, he allowed a walk. There went the perfect game. Then he allowed a home run. There went the no-hitter and the shutout. And then he allowed 3 hits, and he was done.
I think, what, Steve Finley hit that home run? Yeah, right down the right field line.
Grounded to second. Roberts has it. And the no-hitter is intact through 7. 2 errors in the inning. The Yankees scratch out a run. Cabrera 6 outs away.
You could pay $299.99 for a 100% wool suit like this at some stores. Or at K&G, you could look just as stylish for only $99.99. K&G. For men, for women, for less.
Excuse me, are you Karen?
Oh my. I've been on a lot of blind dates, but they've all been with pasty bald guys, but...
Your table, sir. Hello.
Scratch off?
Thanks.
So you can see how much overtime I've worked this year. Plus, I was the lead on the McRae account.
And we truly value your fine efforts. There's simply no room in the budget for raises.
Even cost of living?
Frankly, Julie, I'm a bit disappointed. I thought you were a team player. We all have to sacrifice. So we've squeezed every nickel. We beat the financial bushes. You've seen the kind of belt tightening that
Get
goes on
every
around
penny
here.
you
Like,
deserve.
people are giving up parking
Better paying
spaces,
jobs are
giving up
out there.
country club accounts.
No one has more local jobs or knows the market better than WashingtonPost.com.
Not all the energy for our fuel comes from oil in the ground. A lot of it comes from our people, who year in and year out put so much of their energy into everything they do. So you can be sure that when you put Valero gas into your tank, you're going to get a lot out of it. Valero, the energy to take you anywhere.
Well, fans, the Orioles thank the 2 million plus fans who came out to Oriole Park this season. Special thanks to all the junior Orioles, the Bird Watchers Club, all our diehard fans, and the casual observers, and all of you who watched in and listened at home. The Orioles appreciate your loyalty and support more than ever, and can't wait to deliver that winning team we all know you deserve. Visit Orioles.com this offseason. Keep up with all the doings of your favorite team. Fernando Tatis on the bench with Daniel Cabrera. And here we go to the 8th. An unearned run. 5 base runners in this game for New York. 3 on errors, 2 on walks. You know, there's a lot of no-hit experience in this ballpark tonight.
Yeah.
You know, you've pitched a no-hitter. You pointed out between innings, Al Leiter, who's working on the Yankee telecast, along with Ken Singleton and Michael Kay. He pitched a no-hitter for the Florida Marlins in 1996.
Yeah, against the Colorado Rockies. Oral Hershiser's here tonight. I don't think he pitched a no-hitter. He just had 60-some consecutive scoreless innings.
Yeah, Orioles in the house tonight.
You know, I saw Daniel as I was coming through. The Orioles were taking batting practice, and I kind of wished him luck. And I said, yeah, you know, maybe a home run, maybe no home runs. And I go, but you're ready. And, you know, and there is Al Leiter working with Kenny Singleton and Michael Kay. But, you know, I just talked to him briefly, and I said, if you knew you were going to win, it would take all the excitement out of it. The important thing, and I think this is what we're seeing with Daniel, and this is why you have to be elated about the steps he's made since he's come back from the minor leagues, is that he's ready to be successful. You know, he's throwing more strikes, and he understands after working with Leo Mazzoni about his mechanics and what he needs to do to make, for him, of course, a lot of times his stuff's so good anywhere in the strike zone is a quality pitch, because his stuff can be overwhelming. So just making those strides, and that's the important thing. Are you ready to go out there and you know, battle? And he is.
Well, full count.
And the Orioles could make it a little easier by adding a little offense. Have not scored since the 3rd inning. So Sean Henn and now Jose Veras shutting the O's down.
Broken bat bloop. Cano will get back on it. 1 down. And Moore is out for the first out here in the 8th inning. O's fans, the Baltimore Hyundai dealers and Comcast Sportsnet are teaming up to help kids win the fight against cancer. For every game that Baltimore wins on Comcast Sportsnet, $200 will be donated to the Children's Cancer Foundation. The Orioles have won 36 games this season on Comcast Sportsnet. That means $7,200 will be donated to the Children's Cancer Foundation. You can see they're trying to keep it loose on the bench, but they're keeping it loose and kind of ignoring Daniel Cabrera. Here's Markakis. Nick has a 2-hit game going. Each time he's been able to get on base, he has scored. Double in the 1st, single in the 3rd.
Pretty good pitch right there. It looked like a splitter. Yeah, Veras reminds me a little of Julio Magnon, who has actually pitched very well. Came in last night and pitched well. Pitched well over the weekend against Minnesota. And they both had success down at the AAA level. 21 saves for Veras down at Columbus. And Magnon even better. That ball grounded to the right side with 30 saves.
Well, 2 men down, and here comes Tejada. Oh, by the way, Miggy's sitting on a club record as he walks up. He has tied Cal Ripken tonight with 2 singles. He drove in 2 runs with a single in the 1st, and he's sitting on 211 hits. Tied with Cal Ripken, who had 211 hits back in 1983. Ramon Hernandez has had a lot to do with the success tonight of Daniel Cabrera. He's called a wonderful game. There's a strike to Miguel.
And that fastball at 95.
How many times did you shake off Elrod when you pitched your no-hitter?
Nope.
Okay, Elrod.
Well, when you have a substantial lead, you can pitch pretty cautiously. Now, you know, Mike Flanagan had a no-hitter with 2 outs, and Gary Alexander hit a home run down the right field line. So they're, you know, Mike Cuellar 1 year.
Tatis trying to keep him loose.
Mike Cuellar had, and Dave McNally had no-hitters, and Cesar Tovar in 1 season. In about a month, broke them up with leadoff hits in the 9th inning.
And that one really rode in on Tejada, and he fouls it off. A ball and 2 strikes on Miggy. Cabrera in the bottom of the 8th will have the lower third of the lineup. Posada, Cairo, and Canizaro. He can't get any farther down on that bench.
Oh yeah, he'll be in the stands in the camera well.
Good eye by Tejada, 2-2.
And Posada hit a sharp hopper. I mean, I don't know if numbers really mean a whole lot. As we mentioned, A-Rod probably the best numbers against.
And you see Daniel, if he takes a little bit to the left, he's going to knock over the water cooler, and that's it. Ground ball is short. Right there is the shortstop Cairo. He gets Tejada And the inning ends. So here we go. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Cabrera going back to work.
Yeah. Looking good. Keep working. Not under the boat now. Here, you got it? Get it in.
Bummer, it's just an 8-footer. Oh, well, throw it back.
Yeah.
A bad day in Florida beats a good day almost anywhere else. Fly Southwest Airlines nonstop from BWI or Dulles to Orlando or Tampa Bay for just $79 one way. Purchased by October 5th.
You are now free to move about the country.
It's also the most fuel-efficient 8-passenger SUV in America, the Pilot, from Honda.
Now get low APR financing on all 2007 Honda Pilots.
Monday Night Live, Mondays at 7, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Saturdays at 11, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Hey, gang, it's game break time. I'm Dave Johnson. Time to check on the National League Central race. You know, they had a 3-hour rain delay, but it didn't stop Houston's Roy Oswalt from tossing 7 shutout innings against the Pirates. Stros win 3-0. They've won 9 straight, have gained 7.5 games on St. Louis in the last 8 days. Hey, you know what? The Cardinals trail the Brewers 8-1. Houston could pick up another half game. For now, back to Jim Palmer, Jim Hunter at Yankee Stadium.
Well, thanks, Dave, very much. And here at the ballpark, and I got to tell you, a lot of butterflies up here.
Oh, yeah, pretty exciting
special.
time. Yeah, it really is. And you know, we always talk about how good pitching stops good hitting. The Yankees do a number on the Orioles starting staff and relief last night with 18 hits, 9 of them extra bases. And Daniel Cabrera tonight, there you are, 92 pitches, 7 innings. The Orioles have committed 3 errors behind him.
He's only gone to 3-ball counts to 5 hitters tonight. He's walked 2. And here's Posada, who's been a clutch hitter in his career.
Yeah, 1 for 10 lifetime against Daniel.
And strike 1.
Well, he's a really good fastball hitter, and we saw that last night. And you know, he'll sit on breaking balls, and so it's not that you can't get him out with quality pitches, but if you make a mistake. And he's having, again, another very good year for him. Last night he hit 8th. And the guy that was 22 home runs, hitting in the number 8 spot.
Fly ball, left center field. Newhand calls off Fiorentino. 1 down in the 8th.
So you're down to 5 outs.
There's Brian Burris getting loose just in case. Of course, you don't want to show any disrespect for the job of the guy on the mound, but it's only a 4-run game. And Sam Perlazo has to wear 2 hats at the moment.
Well,
He's trying to nurse Daniel through what could be something special, but the team win is what's most important every time you go into a game.
Well, it is, and you think Cairo, he doesn't hit home runs, and Melvin Mora playing very deep at third base. You know, Cairo, a line drive hitter, as we mentioned, has not hit a home run all year long. So you can't give him the bunt. If you don't want to play that shallow, you cut off your angle.
Bounce toward short. Tejada charges. He'll play it to first. 2 men down in the 8th. And his teammates cheering him on. Here are the 3 balls that went for errors.
Yeah, very unusual to give the error to Millar, and right here, tough play because it hits the grass lip. And then Abreu running hard beats it out, and right here, pretty hard hit ball, but Melvin just doesn't come up with it. So there are the 3 errors, and you can see Bobby Abreu who reached on the Brian Roberts error. He scores the only run for the Yankees. So Melky Cabrera is going to come up and pinch hit, and for a rookie, he's had a monster year because of the injuries to Matsui and Sheffield.
There's a strike.
Daniel Cabrera not taking a whole lot of time.
Blew it by him. 0-2.
Yeah, a little extra right there at what, 98? He's been around 94 to 96 all night long. Pitch count now at 99.
And 2-2. And he got him. Ramon will flip to first base, and Cabrera is 3 outs away. The slider striking out Melky Cabrera. Can he pull it off? His teammates behind every pitch. 3 outs away for Daniel Cabrera.
That was an amazing win. How do you feel?
I feel great. I feel awesome.
A lot of people wrote you guys off early this year. Did you have any doubts?
No doubts. No doubts.
What's it like to be part of sports history?
I have no idea.
Can't find the words?
No, I'm not on the team. I'm just here for the Bud Light. I can get you one. It's a cooler right over here. Are you sure? Woo!
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
The way they work today.
The new XXX ESPN Radio.
94.3 to the west.
92.7 to the east.
And 7:30 a.m. all over D.C.
Good things go fast. Real fast. The Polaris factory authorized clearance going on now until September 30th. This is your only chance to get a free Polaris winch. Plus, payments as low as $49 a month. Plus, rebates of up to $500 on the legendary Polaris Sportsman and Ranger utility vehicles. Find your dealer now at PolarisIndustries.com. This event won't last, but your new Polaris will. Polaris, the world's toughest ATVs.
Comcast Sportsnet.
Well, fans, don't forget, join the Orioles in sunny Fort Lauderdale with the official Orioles spring training travel package. The package includes hotel accommodations, optional airfare through Southwest Airlines, game tickets, and an invitation to an exclusive barbecue with Orioles players. Get online, Orioles.com/spring travel, or call 1-800-8-WARM-UP for more information. 3 outs away for Daniel Cabrera. Keeping that valuable right arm wrapped on the bench in a little water.
Yeah, the Yankees' Nick Green will come on to play third base, and Octavio Dotel will come in, and Tommy John June of last year. So happened to talk to him a little bit yesterday. Said, "Are you bringing?" He said, "No, but I am getting a lot better." And Gibbons will loft that one to right field.
So Gibby out, one away here in the ninth.
Now, you always figured the Yankees, they did it with John Lieber, where he was coming off elbow surgery, and they almost rehabbed him one whole year. So Dotel, he's had some awfully good years last year with Oakland, but he's pitched for Houston, pitched for the Mets, and he will turn 33 in November.
Ramon Hernandez to deep right. Abreu back on this one, and that ball is gone. Ramon Hernandez has a 2-home run night. And a big insurance run for his battery mate Daniel Cabrera.
Yeah, 4 RBIs on the night. Boy, you go back to early June, and that ball's going to get thrown back, and that's where the cheer's going up. But Ramon could hit him with the best of them to right center field. So right there, Dotel, very much like Darryl Rasner, who started this game, elevates the ball and he just goes with it pretty much in the middle of the plate. And the wind looks like it's blowing out here at Yankee Stadium. And that ball just carries into the stands. So again, a career high came in for Hernandez with 21 home runs, now 23.
And David Newhan hits it the opposite way. Matsui gets over to cut it off, and Newhan a hustle double. So runner at second with one down against Dotel. Comcast Sportsnet coverage of Orioles baseball in high definition, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places, Southwest is taking low fares farther. Visit southwest.com. And by Rico. Move your ideas forward with Rico dependability. David Newhan has his second hit on the night. And here is Kevin Millar. There's a strike. Kevin is 1 out of 3. He had a doink in the 5th inning.
Well, Ramon Hernandez didn't have any doinks.
No, sir. Oh, he was all over that hanging curveball, hits it down the line. Newham will score. The ball bounces back to Matsui. That keeps it to a single. But Kevin Millar has an RBI hit.
Yeah, Dotel the first pitch, and there's going to be some boos right here after the home run and the double. Couple of doubles, actually. Right here, it is going to be a hanging slider, and Millar this time doesn't hook it foul. Pretty close. Gets it by Nick Green, who came in, and Orioles add their 7th run. Kind of good news and bad news. Good news, you're putting more runs on the board, but you don't want Daniel Cabrera after about 104 pitches to tighten up.
There's Jeff Fiorentino. What a way to end your season.
What, a no-hitter?
Johnny Vandermeer, he'll have to wait all winter to try to top it if he pulls this off.
Opening day, and you never know.
At the Metrodome next year.
Yeah, the Orioles were going to
Twins.
open in Detroit, but now it's going to be the Metrodome. Indoors. Because the Twins leading the American League in batting average, not runs. The Yankees do that.
There's a strike.
Yeah, Dotel fastball slider, and then he had a real good changeup when he was pitching for a lot of the other teams. As we mentioned, he came up with the Mets 1 year, then went to Houston. And that breaking ball just a little low.
Now, what's going through his mind right now? You've been there.
Oh, well, get me some
and
more
look at
runs.
Tatis.
Well, yeah,
Tatis is still trying to keep him loose.
Yeah, you know, he knows exactly what he has to do. I think you're just focusing.
Double play ball. So here we go. Orioles add 2. Damon coming up. He'll lead it off. Cano second. Bobby Abreu third against Cabrera.
Friday Night Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. The Orioles take on the Red Sox in an AL East duel live from Fenway Park. Catch the action with exclusive game night coverage starting at 6:30. The Orioles, the Red Sox. Friday Night Baseball only on Comcast Sportsnet. Get closer to the action every Saturday with Sports Night on campus. We're taking Sports Night on the road to area schools and bringing you the entire college experience. This Saturday, the road show stops in Blacksburg for Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech. Show us your game face and stop by the Comcast Sportsnet broadcast location. Sports Night on campus, Saturday at 10, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Stan, do I look pale to you?
Pale?
Someone just said I could use some color.
It's the booklets, Jerry.
They're talking about color charts, color covers.
Then I guess I'm off to the Ricoh color printer.
Don't forget your sunblock.
Move your ideas forward with Ricoh dependability.
All right, boys, we got 30 seconds to promote Redskins post-game live.
We're going to get all this in 30 seconds.
Well, let's just tell them they can get the whole story right here on Comcast Sportsnet.
Sounds good. Redskins post-game live after every game.
Hey, what am I supposed to do?
Hey, rookie, just follow our lead.
Okay, I think we got it.
Nobody gets you closer to the Redskins. Jake Hernandez, Brian Mitchell, Steve Zabin, and Ray Brown. Redskins post-game live after every game, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
I could have said that.
Well, when you're 3 outs away from a no-hitter, you get help from your teammates to try to keep you loose. Fernando Tatis cooling down Daniel Cabrera, and there's your story, folks. 3 outs away for number 35. Chris Gomez comes on defensively. He's at first base. The top of the lineup for New York. Ball one.
Well, I think what you have to do is, you're focused so you know who is coming up, and then now all of a sudden you have to get, and we saw a little bit last inning, overthrowing some pitches. You just have to try to relax.
Ground ball towards Gomez. He will flip to Cabrera. 1 out. He's 2 away.
I mean, Daniel Cabrera in his whole career only has 3 complete games.
That puts it in perspective.
If he pitches a no-hitter tonight. I mean, he has 1 this year. He had 1 back in 2004. So the pitch count, 118 his last game. That was 6 2/3 innings. So pitch count not very high. It's really just a matter, and Leo has worked so hard with him just to be able to relax so you don't feel like you have to overthrow, and you can use that leverage of being 6'7".
I watched Chris Young of the Padres take one into the 9th inning when we were on the last homestand. He was pitching late on the West Coast, I was watching, and he lost his on a pinch home run.
Well, right here you have Cano, who was trying to win a batting title. He lined one right at Melvin Moore the last time.
Line drive left field and a base hit for Robinson Cano. He breaks up the no-hitter after 8 1/3. He came so close.
Wow, magnificent performance. Kind of a double-edged sword. You're disappointed you lost it, but you're proud of the way you pitched tonight.
Robinson Cano with an opposite field hit.
It just fights it off, and he's so good at that, and you can see the grimace. But you have to feel good about what went on. You don't feel good about what just happened, but we are seeing the promise of what Daniel Cabrera brings to the table.
Past the mound, Tejada's there, fires to first. There's your ball game. It's a one-hitter for Daniel Cabrera. What a night. 8 1/3 and a line drive hit. So he settles for the 32nd one-hit game in Oriole history. And our Nissan player of the game, guess who? Number 35. Improves to 9 10 and give that man credit. Ramon Hernandez calling the game for Cabrera. What a night. So final score and a one-hitter by Cabrera. The Orioles win it 7-1. We're coming back with more from Yankee Stadium. Right now, we're heading back to the Comcast Sportsnet studio. Preview of Sports Night presented by PricewaterhouseCoopers. Michael Jenkins and Sage Steele.
Oh, tough one.
Who says that late season baseball isn't exciting even when you're out of a pennant race?
Yeah, you're right.
Wow, what a performance tonight by Daniel Cabrera. Hope you enjoyed tonight's contest between the Orioles and Yankees. Here's what you can expect on Sports Night. Just a few minutes with Michael Jenkins, Sage Steele.
Mark Brunell, well, as you know, he rebounded on Sunday against the Texans, but it came with a price. We'll update the latest on the Redskins quarterback.
The Ravens are gearing up for their toughest test of the season, but will their defense face LT and the Chargers a man down? We'll get an injury update from Owings Mills.
And here is what else to look forward to. After 5 years with the organization, Frank Robinson's future is in question. We will hear from the national skipper as the season winds down. Also, the Orioles, well, we know how they've been against the Yankees, but tonight, well, turned into a good one for the Orioles and experience the power. We will hit the water to experience the speed of power boats.
We'll see you in just a few minutes. Right now, it's back out to the Big Apple.
You could pay $299.99 for a 100% wool suit like this at some stores. Or at K&G, you could look just as stylish for only $99.99. K&G. For men, for women, for less.
Here at the new XXX ESPN Radio, we're not above doing our own grassroots marketing, letting the folks know where to hear their Skins game.
XXX ESPN Radio. It's hot. It's super hot. XXX ESPN Radio. The new XXX ESPN Radio. All right.
The Redskins play here.
The new XXX ESPN Radio. 94.3 to the west.
92.7 to the east.
And 7:30 a.m. all over D.C.
Mark Brunell.
When you're considering a new car, do you think about the real value of that car? Or what determines value? Is it legendary engineering? Is it operating expense? Fuel efficiency? All things considered, only one car rises to the top. The Accord from Honda.
Lease a Honda Accord for $239 a month for well-qualified customers.
If it's Redskins coverage you want, then Comcast.
Hi, I'm Aleko Eskandarian, and it's back to school time with DC United.
Comcast Sportsnet and DC United are teaming up to collect school supplies at every home game in September, and we need your help. Just bring unused school supplies to the collection bin outside Gate 8 prior to each game. Fans who donate will receive a buy one, get one free ticket voucher and a free gift. Supplies will benefit United for DC and its 4 adopted schools.
Help make a difference this fall and donate to kids in need with the DC United School Supply Drive.
This presentation brought to you by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Orioles.
Comcast Sportsnet coverage of Orioles baseball has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places, Southwest is taking low fares farther. Visit southwest.com. By Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Pulte. There are 15 new communities in the greater Baltimore area. Please visit Pulte.com for more information. And by the Volkswagen Passat, lowest ego emissions of any German-engineered sedan. Welcome back to Yankee Stadium. Jim Hunter with Jim Palmer as the Orioles get the finale of the series 7-1 behind a brilliant pitching performance by Daniel Cabrera, who took a no-hitter into the 9th inning. Daniel, you got the first one, but then Robinson Cano came up and a base hit the other way. Congratulations on an outstanding effort tonight.
Thank you. You know, it's so excited to have it close to the no-hitter, and thank God for everything, for anything, anyway.
Well, Daniel, Jim Palmer, I know Fernando was sitting next to you, and Jim Hunter asked me, what was going on? What are you thinking about when you have a no-hitter? Because I was lucky enough to pitch one time. Did Fernando help you, or because early on they weren't sitting next to you?
Yeah, Fernando said, I'm nervous. I don't play today. It's a little chilling. I'm starting sweating like I'm a player right now. And, you know, he tell me, I'm with you, you know, keep going, keep going.
Well, you know, this has been a year where, you know, you win 9, you lose 10. You have to kind of go back to the minor leagues. But do you feel like you made some strides? It appears to me you're much more focused. You're wearing glasses. You seem more comfortable pitching now than you have in a long, long time.
Yeah, you're right. After they got the glasses, I feel more comfortable. Now I can see more better the catcher. And, you know, and when they go to the minor league, the thing, you know, only I go there and working hard and trying to come back here, and that's what I do, and trying to finish strong.
Daniel, tell us what you were thinking as you walked out to the mound to begin that 9th inning, where you know you're 3 outs away. I mean, you've had 3 up, 3 down innings all year, but not with this on the line.
When they jump to the line, I say, here we go, Daniel. You know, that can be your best game ever. And, you know, like I try to be strong and trying to don't thinking too much, just throw the ball, you know, good pitch, and try to take the people out, the guy out.
Well, you really should be proud because you had a marvelous performance tonight. And, you know, did you feel it all? We talked a little bit, and let's take a look right here. We're going back on just the line drive that Cano hits, but did you feel at all intimidated or a little bit scared because of what the Yankees did last night with the 16 runs, 18 hits? You and I talked a little bit. I said, you know, I know you're ready. But did you feel comfortable going out there with your kind of stuff?
Yeah, you remember when you asked me today early around 5 if I'm ready. I said, yeah, I'm ready. You know, any pitches after the seal of the game, like last night, you know, you got to think about it before they go to bed. But what I'm saying, last night to me, just, you know, go out there and try and throw strike and everything be good.
Well, go in and get something to eat. Terrific game. It was great to be here to see it.
I'm really hungry. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Daniel. One hitter. He went 8 1/3 in that line drive single in the left field. And here's our Chevrolet play of the game. No, not the hit that broke up the no-hitter. Here's the final out that got Cabrera and the Orioles the win.
Yeah, 3 double plays tonight. And, you know, the Orioles make 3 errors. I guess the irony, Jim, is that if they don't make the errors, Cano doesn't come up. But, again, you know, anytime you have a chance to be close to a no-hitter, it's a pretty special night to be at the ballpark. And the Yankees do a number last night, but the Orioles do a number on the Yankees tonight. And it's good to end the season against one of the better teams in baseball, and that's the New York Yankees.
Well, the Maryland Lottery would like to congratulate Marianne Schneider. Marianne, courtesy of Ramon Hernandez, has won $2,000 in tonight's Mega Millions Home Run Derby contest. Don't forget to play Mega Millions coming up Friday for a chance to win $12 million. So the Orioles get the finale of this 3-game series, winning it by a final of 7-1. And what a night as Cabrera takes a no-hitter into the 9th. And after 8 1/3, only a Robinson Cano base hit the difference in the game for Cabrera and the no-no. Once again, the final score is 7-1. Join us tomorrow from Boston. Comcast Sportsnet coverage of Orioles baseball beginning at 6:30. Now we're heading back to the studio. Sports Night, Michael Jenkins and Stage Steel. Have a great night, everybody.
Sports Night
on Comcast Sportsnet.
The heart of local sports.
No one gives you more on your team.
More on the big stories. Total sports coverage.